For the second time this week, we are out of the cage and on location. Now I know how Taylor Swift feels on the Eras Tour. Tonight, this afternoon, I should say, from 3 to 6, we are on location at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common. Really cool location. We'll talk more about about Sit and Sleep as we move on throughout the afternoon. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. We have a Golden Bears football game tonight to preview. We have a big Elks game to preview tomorrow against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and a CFL game tonight. There are two CFL games tonight, one in particular that will impact the Elks in the standings. We have plenty of news about the Edmonton Oilers. We'll talk a little about Calvin Pickard. We'll talk more about Noah Philp, the former U of A Golden Bear, who is back in the game of hockey. He played for the Bakersfield Condors 2 years ago, took last year off for personal reasons, and now is back on the ice at Oilers training camp. You will hear from him, and who knows where else we will go through the course of the show, which should be a fun one, Jay, as here we are at Sit and Sleep.
What a store. I mean, wow, what can you say? I mean, this is 20,000 square feet of, and I must have, everybody knows my backstory. I come from a furniture background. I know the group that owns Sit and Sleep. They've been competitors of ours for years, and now here I am sitting in their showroom. So it's kind of funny how things change. But no, I mean, and it's a family business. So I mean, that's number one, family business. They've got an incredible amount of made in Canada furniture, whether it's out of Vancouver, out of BC. I was just talking to Sonny, the manager here, and their lead times, get this, and this is news to me because I've been out of it, for a little while, since say April, and lead times are always an issue on custom order furniture. So if you like this sofa right behind us, but you want to order it in a different color, 4 weeks it's in your home. Can you believe that?
That's 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So now you don't have to go to the big box store. You don't have to settle for something that's in stock. You can go ahead and custom order something, have it in your house in 4 weeks. I mean, who can't wait 4 weeks? Right. Yeah, when I was doing that in lead times after, COVID really caused quite a disruption in the system, there were some companies that were upwards of 20 weeks for a custom order. So
that's nigh on half a year.
Nay, it is. Nigh. Yes. Nigh it is. But no, to hear that was great. I mean, we're going to get into it throughout the show. I'm going to keep interjecting here with some neat things that are happening here at Sit and Sleep. It's a brand new store. It's a beautiful store. It's in South Edmonton Common, right beside Planet Fitness. You can't miss it. Just Google Sit and Sleep Edmonton, and you'll come hither.
And you'll see the Edmonton Sports Talk signage out front if the wind doesn't blow it over. I think
Maddie's here.
Matthews, I think, is going to have to stand out there the whole time just holding it.
Maddie's already rescued it. Yeah.
He's already rescued it. All right.
We are going to have to get him on.
We'll get Matthew. That was enough. That was enough. He's been on.
Thanks for that cameo, Maddie.
We will have one of our colleagues on, Tom Gazzola, a little bit later on for some further Oilers chat. Man, oh man, there's an Oilers game on Sunday. There's an Elks game tomorrow. There's a Golden Bears game tonight.
Wow.
This is a great weekend. Now, the Oilers is preseason. I know there's it's not the same. Less than 3 months ago, it was Game 7 of the
Oh, don't say that.
But we're getting rolling, and it's the preseason games are big for some of the players we've talked about. Some of the defensemen jockeying for positions, Pud Colson, and we'll hear from him throughout the afternoon. I think Noah Philp as well, who I was just mentioning. I think he's got a shot to be a really important person in Bakersfield, player in Bakersfield, and then maybe an opportunity to get called up if somebody's needed in that role. So that's a storyline there as well. We're happy to hear from you. The EST inbox is 780-218-9999. You can jump into the nasty chat on YouTube. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We are in the mobile James H. Brown studio today. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. So we want to start off here with something on the lighter side of sports, because this is one of those things. Is it really a play to break down? No. Is it really a storyline that's going to affect who wins the championship in the league we're going to talk about? It's called the Super Bowl, But yesterday, I actually wound up watching very little of this game the Jets and the Patriots.
I
Josh
watched more
Clausen would have been happy.
because I told Josh Clausen I was going to ride on the over 6.5. So I just wanted to make sure that happened. And then, by the way, for the record, I don't ever, like to say that I am sharp, in the gambling realm, but I've had a good week of what I've called on air. So I'm going to stop. I'm not going to give any more. That's a joke. I can't. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions.
Well, we're going to talk about predictions later on in the show, which is predictions is gambling without the gambling. So I guess it's not gambling at all. Gambling is predictions with money involved, I guess. But we're going to talk about predictions because I'm going to do a very specific, overly specific top 3 for food sausage a little bit later on. Okay, so we have this. People have probably seen this because this is one of those things I think non-sports fans would see and get a laugh out of and be like, "Oh, what was happening in this situation?"
Well, they'd see it and overreact. That's
right.
Assured.
So we have Zach. Zach will run this in 5 seconds. This is Aaron Rodgers. Robert, is it Salah? How do you say it? I always say it.
Salah.
So from the
potato.
The Jets. Here we go.
There was that awkward exchange with you and Robert. You appeared to push him away.
No, it was not really awkward at all.
You appeared to push him away. Then when he went to hug you, what happened?
I didn't know. He's not a big hugger, usually, so I didn't know he was going for the hug. He likes to do the 2-hand chest push as well. So, but he talks a lot about 2-score leads. So I just kind of gave him a push and said 2-score lead. That's what happened.
All right.
You know what's funny about that? As soon as that happened, it was all over social media saying, oh, trouble in New York, Aaron Rodgers is tough to deal with. And there was lip readers on it like almost immediately because that's now become a big thing on social media where you don't have a mic there, but you're seeing a player react or talk to a coach. And 2-score lead. Yeah. So he was just pumping his tires, doing, a little machismo.
And we've all done that. Are we gonna fist bump or high five?
God.
Yeah.
Your hands are cold and sticky.
But if we do it in the I really am sort of I have an odd texture about me.
You too.
But those types of things. Okay, so that brings to mind a few things for me. Okay, so it's funny, and even the way Rodgers' hands sort of wound up on Salah's chest was kind of funny.
It was awkward at the best.
It was awkward. They didn't know what they were going to do. It brings to mind from several years ago the Tom Brady looking to high five somebody on the Patriots, which that had comedic value.
That was a tough look.
Hey guys, your quarterback's the greatest player in the history of your sport. Could someone give him a high five? And he's like, hey guys, I'm happy too. No, okay. But the things that get blown out of proportion too, as you said, when that happens, some people go to trouble, rift. They can't even be happy together. Do you remember a few years ago? The Oilers won a game in Vancouver, and there was this quick shot of the Oilers bench, it appeared that Sam Gagner and Riley Sheahan were sort of jostling with each other or giving each other punches. Yeah. And really, it was just something they did jokingly to celebrate that they, give their punch on the arm and act mad about it. And that, the dissension they can't even celebrate a win. And I was like, oh my God. And I, was doing the show with Rob, and Rob's like, who knows what these guys are like? They're not mad. And he goes, even if there was some little thing that happened, like, you jumped up and kicked me, or what? Like, it's nothing. And I remember, I've never told this before, but a few days later, I went up to Gagner in the dressing room, and I said, hey, that thing with you and Sheahan? And he kind of like, yeah. He's like, that is. I said, that's the most attention you've got since you had 8 points in a game. And he's like, can you believe it? Like, people would actually think after a big divisional win that two teammates are somehow going to be mad at each other on the bench. Now, last year there were two Oilers who were mad at each other on the bench.
Yes, that was a little bit of a different story. That was not a situation in which they were trying to celebrate and were mixed up. But it is kind of funny. But I think you're right there. It's there are things that happen on the bench. Players might get mad or say something to each other, but when they actually have something to celebrate, that is not when it's time to think
They just had an awkward moment. That's not when something weird is actually happening or dissension is actually happening.
It's quite common, though, to read or overread into simple reactions, and you don't know anything, and there's absolutely no context, but it can be taken, way out of line. And that was just the example last night where it's actually two guys celebrating, but because it looks awkward and almost Aaron Rodgers was not smiling ear to ear, that it's automatically assumed that this was, there's infighting in New York. Yeah. Look how, trade Rodgers. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, that must be so hard, Reid, to go through now sports the way that it is now, especially the NFL. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, the NFL is king of all kings, or at least in North America.
Okay, let's can we finish this topic, and maybe we want to get to the off-topic topic too. Okay, you know what? No, I'll circle back to this on a couple of things about showing about dissension or anger, and like you said about how hard it is to avoid being seen.
Yeah,
because I do think that's a relevant thing as well. That's something we get now that, back when games weren't televised or weren't televised as often, maybe you wouldn't see some of that stuff. But we want to get to our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. I just realized when I was reading that, if you're watching on YouTube, my head was slowly going out of the frame. Where's Reid going?
Wake up, Reid.
I'm here, everybody. The off-topic topic for William Huff.
I've got my arm around you now.
Got to keep me propped up.
You're going to come home.
You've already been doing
now.
that for 3 weeks.
I've been being told that when you bang the table, it makes the camera move. So just chill out.
Well, I'm too excited though. Okay, I'll try not to do it.
No, I'd say just the heck with it, Reid. You be you, but you're coming home with me.
All right, that's fine.
Off-topic. This is going to be a good one.
Well, it's yours. It's all you.
You want me to introduce it?
Well, it's your idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I did the live read, so
okay.
You set it up.
My apologies. I must have missed the production meeting. Your greatest competitive achievement. Now, this was spawned into my brain watching what Shohei Ohtani did last night, and just that achievement. 50 and 50, which turned into 51 and 51. It could become greater than that, and most likely will. What is your greatest competitive achievement? Now, I'm not necessarily looking for, hey, I want a, Bantam AAA gold provincials. Like, that's okay. I mean, we all have those sporting achievements, but I mean,
speak for yourself.
Well, sorry, Reid. Not everybody's the debate master like you. But, I mean, did you have a competitive eating championship that you won? Did you have a chugging contest that you were notoriously coming out in first place? That's what I want to get into. Almost the fake achievements, if you will. Shohei Ohtani's was real. I mean, Matthew Iwanek, when we brought the topic up, who is sitting within earshot, mentioned the rip-off at Remax. Not his words, my words. He calls it the race at Remax. I'm to be determined, but that's one of his greatest achievements. So in that realm, you guys can hit us up in the EST inbox. Oh, Connor Hood says beating Reid in golf. That is good.
Wow.
That's good. That's in the spirit, Connor. I appreciate that. That was a great one. So hit us up in the EST inbox, 780-218-9999. You can text in there, or you can hit us up in the nasty chat. There are a ton of people on there. If you are watching us, streaming us, and you're on the YouTube stream, hammer that thumbs up.
By the way, this was kind of fun, though, because yesterday we got into talking, is Ohtani on pace? Could he become the greatest baseball player of all time?
Right.
But I was reading an article today that called his game yesterday the greatest game in baseball history. 6 for 6, 3 homers, 2 doubles, 2 stolen bases, and 10 RBIs.
See, but I was watching your guy Jay Onright show last night, and he had on a guest that said there are some games that have rivaled that, if not been better than that have included more RBIs and home runs that also included grand slams, and 4 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, guys have hit 4 homers. Well, not often. I remember George Bell hit 3 homers in a game, I think, on opening day in '88.
So that is it the greatest game ever? Is he the greatest baseball player of all time?
It's just fun to have
one of these things.
If it's in the discussion for greatest individual game of all time, then it was a pretty darn good game.
Okay, so keep them coming in. I'm going to keep track of them.
Beating me in golf does not count.
It absolutely does, Connor. Don't listen to him.
Okay.
And if you want to, chime in on a little bit more details about that round, you feel free, my friend, because we can chop it up about that for sure.
Lot to get to, including a setup of tonight's big game at Foot Field between the Golden Bears and Regina. Quarterback Eli Hetlinger next. We are live at Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common. Here comes the Coupe.
Former Royal King Dylan Guenther re-ups with Utah. Guenther signed a 8-year deal worth over $7 million average. Forward Dawson Mercer and the New Jersey Devils have agreed to a 3-year extension. In 82 games last season, Mercer recorded 20 goals and 13 assists. Jets defenseman Vinny Hinola will miss some time after forming an ankle injury during training camp. It's reported that the infection came from a screw put in his ankle during surgery over the offseason. The 49ers have some injury trouble in week 3. George Kittle, the tight end, is doubtful, while defensive end Nick Bosa and cornerback Charvarius Ward are questionable. Deebo Samuel is also out for Sunday's game against the Rams. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins says he's good to go for Sunday's game against the Commanders. If Higgins plays, it'll be his season debut. Just after the break, Reid and Jay continue the Reid Wilkins Show live from Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Lynyrd Skynyrd with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
All right, we're back. Yes, we will have Eli Hetlinger from the Golden Bears football team, quarterback, coming up. Big game for them. High expectations for them going into the season. And then those expectations, did they get even higher after they won the first game on the road against UBC and then a home loss to Calgary, and then a road loss in Manitoba, in which the Golden Bears got a touchdown to pull within a point with 52 seconds left, went for 2, and did not get it. So they're 1-2. Now, positioning in Canada West still totally up for grabs. Manitoba's 3-0. Regina's 2-1. The other 4 teams in the league are all 1-2. So 2-1 Regina against 1-2 Alberta tonight at Foot Field. This is already the halfway point of the season.
Tonight is the halfway point game.
It is the halfway, yeah.
And I mean, Regina's 2-1. Regina looked good, has looked good. This is I think the toughest conference in Canada. I mean, the level of compete, the level of athletes that come into Canada West. But you got to look too. You're going from 4 provinces, right? The OUA is 1 province. I know population wise, but this way you have a lot to choose from. And Canada West has always been strong. There's no question. But yeah, it's if you were to ask Coach Chris Morris where he thought the season would be, I guarantee you he would not think that they would be 1-2 going into week 4 against Regina.
No. Yeah, I don't want to call it a must-win, but it's if you're 4 of the 6 teams make the playoffs, so you got some leeway, but you don't have a leeway to lose a bunch of games. But Bears are looking to bounce back tonight. We do have Eli on the line. Eli Hetlinger, Golden Bears quarterback. Eli, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this on a game day. You're going to be on the field in 3.5 hours, so I guess no superstition or concern about disrupting a routine for you, eh?
No, I have a routine I did before this, and then review on the field. So this did not interfere with that. So all good in that regard.
This is the calm before the storm. This is the exciting part. You got a beautiful day out there. I'm sure it's going to be a exceptional crowd down at Foot Field. Eli, you guys had a huge start. Week 1, you go out to UBC, you make a statement win out there. Suffered a stunning loss to Calgary and a tough loss last week in Manitoba. Adversity is part of the game. Adversity is part of sports. It will happen, but it's how you respond, obviously. How's the team right now? How's the team leading up to this matchup tonight against Regina?
Yeah, you you alluded to it. It's how you respond. And with that, I'd say all my teammates, all my coaches, and myself have had energetic and positive week of practice, and we are ready to do just respond. You can't change the past, so fortunately we have an opportunity tonight at 7 to change how the start of the season has gone for us these past 2 games.
Well, absolutely, and that's a positive way to look at it. Obviously, you need to look forward, and that's all you can control. Your team, your offense leads Canada West in rushing, averaging 223 yards per game. Talk about that rushing attack. It's a bit two-headed, but I mean, obviously, the leader of the pack with that is Matthew Peterson. Talk about your running backs and how explosive they are.
Yeah, Matthew Peterson, as everyone knows, is an extremely special athlete. Hamilton obviously noticed that as well and picked him up in the draft last year. As well, complimenting him, Opie, Ashanubi, and Allen. When they get the ball in their hands, they seem to make plays as well. But with all those guys in there, it'd be wrong to not acknowledge the O-line. All 5 of those guys and our Morgan Runch do an exceptional job getting those guys lanes. So, yeah, we've had success running the ball due to kind of the personnel we have both up front and in the back, and I'm sure that will continue tonight and for the rest of the season.
Now, I know you're a local Edmonton born and raised athlete. Obviously, you attended Harry Ainley. This was after Coach Chris Morris had left. But talk us about, when did you start playing football? What level did you start at? When did you know that maybe football was something that you could pursue that would eventually, help pay for your education?
That's a funny question. I started football when I was 7 years old, and I was not the most athletic kid on the field. So they threw me at backup D end because I was a bit heavier, or field corner. I didn't quite like football that much when I couldn't really move well, and I was just getting pummeled all the time. But when I kind of started to love the game was in my second year. I got moved to quarterback, and I took it from there. I just enjoyed originally just playing the game and having fun with my friends. And it wasn't really until kind of high school where I was like, okay, I can pursue this at the U Sport level and use it to pay my education, and that, as well as hopefully pursue a career in professional sports as well. So I'd say high school is when that moment kind of came to fruition for myself.
Well, and yes, as a third-year kinesiology student at U of A, obviously that decision to put some effort and muscle behind football has obviously paid off. But, mentioned earlier that you're out of Harry Ainley, and you had a very successful tenure while you were at Harry Ainley, and by all accounts, you could have really went wherever you wanted in U Sports. Why did you end up choosing the Golden Bears program and staying at home?
Yeah, that decision came quite simply to me, in the fact that for the man we have as our coach, Coach Morris, Chris Morris, from a young age, he always made an effort at our camps to come and talk to me and get to know my family. And in addition to that, just through the camps, learning who he is as a leader, the things he stands for, that being produce good men off the field and not just good football players, and the importance he puts on education and just who he is and what he stands for, made it clear in my head that this is a man I want to go play for. This is a program I want to help turn around and be a part of its growth. And so come my grade 11 summer year, the other schools I was talking to, they're very good schools and all have great things to offer. I don't want to take anything away from them, but the decision was quite clear that I wanted to play at home for Coach Morris.
Yeah, well, and you're part of a really good era here of Golden Bears football. Eli Hetlinger, quarterback for Alberta, joining us as he gets ready to face Regina tonight. What do you know about Regina for fans going to foot tonight? What kind of things are they doing that you're going to have to worry about as a quarterback?
Yeah, they are a very well-coached team. As you mentioned, they are second in Can West right now and playing some very high-level football. Offensively, I know they're making big explosive plays in the pass game, but my kind of focus and on the defense, they're an older group that are active and play with tons of effort. Very, again, well-coached team. But in saying that, we are also a very well-coached team, and we have a plan to take advantage of certain things that their defense has to offer, as I'm sure they have for us. But I believe in our plan. I believe in our team, and we've had a good week of practice and are ready to bring that into fruition at 7 p.m. tonight. Okay. Well, we'll let you get ramped up for that. Thanks for joining us on game day, especially Eli. I mean, you're in the middle of a great career with the Bears, and I know you're looking to get back in the win column tonight. Really appreciate you joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Thank you for having me. All right, that's Eli Hetlinger, Golden Bears quarterback, hopping on. Wasn't sure if a player would want to do it on a game day. Would have you done an interview on a game day on a radio show? Yeah, you would have been fine. Yeah, I think some players wouldn't. I guess it depends on the player.
It depends on your, honestly,
it
it depends on your mental toughness. To be honest with you, if you're calm and cool enough, and you're like, to me, that sounded like an athlete that knows what he's going to do tonight. He's not going to get fazed by much. Mm-hmm. They're going to go out. They have a game plan, like he said. They had a positive week of practice, and that's so much of sports. It's what's up here. Like, you can be the biggest, strongest guy in the world, and if you don't have it up here, good luck. So when you played, whether it was Golden Bears or earlier in your career, I don't even know, were you always a DB? Certainly when you reach a higher level, you were always a DB. Yeah, when I came out of high school, I was actually I played both ways. I was a quarterback and a safety. Okay. I tried out for Team North as a quarterback. Oh, wow. They cut me the first practice and said, no, we want you on defense, and sent me over to the defense side.
Well, you didn't get cut. You just got moved. You got reassigned.
They moved me, yeah.
So so then I'll ask about your Bears career. How much would you interact with the offensive players?
Here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, offensive guys and defensive guys in the locker room are different breeds. I would actually hang out with the offensive line a lot more than any of the skill positions, like the receivers. Those on the offensive side of the ball, you need to have calmness, composure, and going through your game plan, going through this route tree or whatever. Defense is reaction, so you can be a little bit more loosey goosey, a little bit more who cares. But so to hear a guy like Eli come on and have calm, composed answers. That's a good sign for the Bears.
So that's really, when you played, that's what you wanted from your quarterback, even if you weren't around him a lot. If it's halftime, you don't want to look up and see your quarterback.
He's not going to be the rah-rah guy. No,
you want him.
I want him sitting in his cubicle with his head down, thinking about stuff. Maybe have some tunes on. Chill out, get your mind right, and keep it right.
Yeah. Well, Eli sounded ready to go tonight. He was very even keel, but it is an important game. Again, like we were saying in Canada West, 4 to 6 make the playoffs, but then if you're down to 1 and 3 after tonight, you're already starting to run out of track, depending on what else happens. So it is a big game.
Well, and I would consider this a must-win game. I would, because if you drop to 1 and 4, you're not in control of your own destiny anymore. If you claw back and get to 2 and 2 tonight, that's a huge difference. But I read we got to get back to our off-topic topic, because there are some just winners coming in here. This one, I couldn't read it all because I was going to laugh out loud while we were interviewing Eli, so I had to just say, Jay, put it down. This is from our man, Big U. I had a good reverse achievement when I went a full season in bantam hockey without scoring a goal while playing Power Play Unit 1. It was harder to do that than score 40, I swear. I spent 12 minutes on the ice in the third period of our last regular season game with the entire team trying to bank one off me at that point.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh. Dawson Nielsen, one of my greatest achievements happened this year behind the bench. Second year in coaching lacrosse, got the opportunity to coach Team Alberta. I was a defensive coach, and my team had the best defense. Big Maple, 106.7, The Drive, out of Red Deer, had me beat the 2 morning hosts in a wing eating contest at a Grey Cup party at Bose. All I got was a pair of tickets to the Killers and heartburn from the hot wings.
So it was a Grey Cup party. Oh, I guess the Grey Cup was going on.
I guess
I was going to say you didn't even get tickets to the Grey Cup, but it was during the Grey Cup.
This one was interesting because
the Killers are good.
It reminded me, a great band. Yeah, it reminded me of this pool, but Castor 1990, biggest competitive achievement, winning my first NHL playoff pool at Nate. Oh, I wonder if that was the big one. Remember Nate used to take out like a section of the newspaper to promote their...
Yeah, that was big money.
Huge.
I think they still do it online, don't they?
Maybe. I don't know. If you're doing it, let us know.
That was in the old days for some members of our audience will not quite understand what a newspaper was.
Right.
But yeah, you'd actually...
That's sad.
Would you not cut it out and mail it in?
Yes, you had to mail it in.
How else would you submit it in 1992?
No, you had to mail it. You couldn't even fax it, for goodness sake. Jason Lynn Leduc, I own the record for fitting the most black olives in my mouth amongst my cousins. Set it up upon arriving at a wedding reception when I was 11. Glorious. He says, never forget.
These are good. I think that's really what you were looking for. How many black olives can you fit in your mouth? And you only beat your cousins. He didn't win anything international.
Oh, that's
ideal.
Those are worth the big ones,
That's
right?
Ideal. All right, 780-218-9999 is the ESTN box. You can contribute to the nasty chat as well. That's always a fun place to spend some of your time during the show. We do have Oilers stuff. We do have Elks stuff all ahead. We are going to get into a sport that features some noisy and dangerous collisions when we get back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. We're live at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common.
CFL Week 16 kicks off tonight when the Ticats go against the Argos. The Stamps then play the Riders at 7:30 down in Calgary. Tomorrow it's the Elks Bombers down at Commonwealth for 5. And the Green and Gold kickoff show with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne go live just an hour before the action from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. And make sure if you're at the game to come catch me and Trev at the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate right by the Tall Boys stage. Tonight the 1-3 Golden Bears football team kicks off against the 2-1 Regina Rams. That game goes at 7. Tight end George Kittle is questionable for the 49ers this week due to a hamstring injury. Kittle in his last game had 1 touchdown and 7 receptions for 76 yards. Deebo Samuel is also out for Sunday's game. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins says he's good to go for Sunday's game against the Commanders. If Higgins plays, it'll be his season debut. And just after the break, Reid and Jay will be joined by Mr. Rob MacIsaac, Team Canada end, who plays wheelchair rugby. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered, from rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
This is the one where you always get it.
Yeah.
Sounds quiet.
Because they want us to pop. Like,
all right, we are back. And there were those asking in the nasty chat, is there any nasties down there? And, well, I've got news for you. Nasty Club member number 10, Cole in Ellerslie, is here in the building. And he's trying out the sofas. He's having a great discussion with Maddie. And there are, I don't know, how many sofas would you say are in here? It's got to be
85.
Ah, that's an actually quite a good. And don't forget, it's not just sit; it's sit and sleep. And they've got this unit over there that I saw earlier called the Sleepologist. And oh my God, it performs a full body scan. It's got over 1,600 sensors and it measures pressure points. And then once they have your sleep number, they take you to the mattresses that'll work for you.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
All right.
The only place in Edmonton that has it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, neat. And we're here. Sit and sleep, South Edmonton Common. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on side sleep, back sleep, everything, all that stuff. Keep your off-topic greatest achievements coming in. I did tell you earlier that I won. I was on actually it was a Power 92. Remember Power 92, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
And it was Chad the Pog Martin hosted it. Well, I grew up with his younger brother. So we happened to find our way onto this trip. It was a Power 92 ski trip that went to Fernie.
Okay.
And we stopped. You know what those trips are like. But it was one of these ones where they black out the bus windows.
Okay.
And then they had a beer drinking contest to decide whose bus could take the garbage bags off the window so you could actually see where you were.
Mm-hmm.
Your guy won.
Oh, congratulations.
That's it's up there. I mean, sports accolades.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
All Canadian. Who cares?
Who cares about that?
Who cares about that?
I just want to tell a quick story before we bring in our next guest. In the summer of 1999, I did my practicum from Nate at Global Television in Saskatoon. Josh Clausen was there. We had him on the show yesterday. Jay Onwright was my sports director. And it was a great experience, and I got to cover a lot of stories. And sometimes I would cover things that they might have not usually covered because they wanted me to get out there and get experience. So one weekend, Jay says, "You're going to this school, and you're going to cover a wheelchair rugby tournament. The Nationals are here." And I actually, in my ignorance at that time, thought he was joking. I couldn't imagine wheelchair rugby being a sport.
Well, it would have been new to you at that point.
How wrong I was. It was one of the coolest events I've ever covered. It's a great sport to watch, and you can watch it this weekend because the Steel Wheels Rugby Club has something going on here in Edmonton, and we got Rob MacIsaac from Steel Wheels on the line. Rob, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Cool. I'm great, guys. I am absolutely great. I'm just chilling outside, enjoying some fresh air before we get rolling this evening.
Give us the nuts and bolts of the tournament that's taking place over the weekend. When and where and who's involved?
Beauty. Yeah, no, so it's starting tonight. First game is actually at 5:30 p.m. here at St. Francis Xavier Sports Center in the west end of Edmonton. So we got two games happening tonight. 5:30 is us, Edmonton Steel Wheels versus the Red Deer Reapers. So looking forward to that one. And then we have two teams coming from Calgary. They had enough players to split into two, so that game kicks off at 7:30. So, I mean, we're looking forward to it. It's basically the inaugural first tournament of our season. Like the entire season, we're the first ones that kick it off with the Capital City Showdown.
Okay. How long has the Steel Wheels Rugby Club been around?
Since 2000. So
wow, okay.
The club itself was established in 2000. And the sport itself was established in 1976.
Okay, so I was hoping to get a little bit of your story as well. And as you know, one of my best friends, Chris, is on your team. And and Chris, about 8.5 years ago, had a life-threatening case of meningitis. And as a result, he had both his legs amputated below the knee. And now he plays rugby with you guys. What is your story, if you don't mind sharing, of getting into wheelchair rugby?
Oh God, I don't mind sharing at all. You know, when I was so my story started in 2004, September 11th, 2004. Actually, yep, my own 9/11. I usually tell people that I taught my car how to do cartwheels at 18 years old. So young and dumb, and with a fast car. So they estimated, because I was street racing, they estimated I left the road at about 260 kilometers an hour and rolled my car 7 times end for end and ended up breaking my neck, resulting in a C4 incomplete spinal cord injury. So diagnosed as a quadriplegic, and that's when my journey began with that. And this occurred in my hometown of Antigonish, Nova Scotia. So yeah, I'm not from Alberta. It's definitely my adopted home now. And when I tell people that basically what occurred is when I was in the rehab center in Halifax, back then I was kidnapped by the Nova Scotia Spokebusters wheelchair rugby club. They showed up, basically said, "You're coming with us." They threw me in a chair that night and duct taped me in the chair, and I've been hooked on the sport ever since.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. But you play are you not on or have been on the national team level? So you've ascended to be one of the top players in the country, have you not?
Yeah, so I started at a rec level, and then after moving to Alberta, I picked the sport up even more and I was labeled a prospect at the time, and then I was on Team Next Gen, which is the developmental team for the national team program. So yeah, I was identified on that and did that for a few years too. And then I chose to focus on my professional career because by profession, I'm also a registered social worker.
Wow. Okay. So I know you're on the phone, Rob, so you're not going to be able to see this. Rob MacIsaac, Steel Wheels Rugby Club, joining us. They got a tournament this weekend. Is it St. FX, you said, right?
Yeah, St. Francis Xavier Sports Center.
Okay. While we're talking to you here, we're going to roll some video that we got off YouTube. And it was simply labeled wheelchair rugby collisions. So the people on YouTube will be able to see this. And as I said, when I went and covered this tournament in Saskatoon many years ago, I was stunned with the collisions and the physicality and the toughness. I mean, players being knocked out of their chairs, to me, like it looks like they're intentionally ramming into each other. Can you talk about the physicality and the collisions in wheelchair rugby, Rob?
100%. That's one of the big pieces that draws a lot of individuals to the sport. It's a high impact, high paced sport. It's so fun. It's so freeing as an individual. And that's what hooked me on it, was the freedom I felt and just being able to play a contact sport again. It's the only adaptive sport that is intentionally full contact. And when we play at a higher level, that you hit with a purpose. So basically you hit somebody to knock them out of position or vice versa. You can, just last practice, unfortunately, I put somebody on the floor upside down face first. So, but it's all team camaraderie. It's part of the sport. We have fun. We laugh about it. It's just so, it's such an inviting community to watch and to be part of. All of us with disabilities. It's just a freeing opportunity that we still live life and do whatever the heck and do some wild shit in the process, right?
Yeah, well, we're watching a wild video right now. Some of this stuff
is intense.
And I should know, Rob, I don't know if you've listened to this before, but Jay, played Canada West football. So, and he's watching this going like,
my mouth is just, my jaw is hitting the ground. I'm watching this with Reid. I'm just staring at this computer screen. Okay, so walk me through this then, because obviously from that video, there's a way to defend properly. It looks like picks or trying to, kind of rub another player out is part of the game, but is it allowed, or is that a penalty? And how does that work?
So that's exactly what it is. There is a lot of strategy to the game. I refer to it sometimes as playing a little bit of tic-tac-toe, a little pick and roll, but the way the game is played, we play on a regulation indoor basketball court. It's 4-on-4, and all of the athletes are based on a classification system based off how much physical function we have. So we're given a point class value from 0.5, which we refer to as a low pointer, all the way up to 3.5, meaning they have the highest amount of physical function. Myself, I'm a 0.5. I play at the lowest, so I play a defensive role. So typically an individual from 0.5 to 1.5, we play that defensive role. So we're the ones setting the picks. We are the defenders. I will say we're the unsung heroes of the sport.
Of course.
We're not the ones scoring, but we're the ones that are, helping our big dogs get up the court and score.
Well, we all know that defense wins championships. So Rob, I'm definitely on your team. Now I gotta ask you though. I mean, looking at that video, seeing what those chairs that you're sitting in go through on a daily basis or practice, but what's the upkeep? I mean, you got to be replacing parts. You got to be replacing frames. I mean, this is not a easy on the pocketbook, I would suggest.
No, and our average chairs, because they're fully custom made to each individual. That they range upwards. I think the titanium frames now are upwards of like $17,000. So of course, funding and stuff like that is going to be hard to come by, but thankfully, there's grants and there's funding for that. But in terms of the upkeep, it's not too bad, really. I mean, for the frames and chairs themselves, we just usually have to replace bearings, casters. Some of our wheels, like our bigger wheels, it's tires, tubes. Sometimes they get bent. So we'll be replacing some spokes maybe sometimes. But we all have spares, right? So that occurs. It's pretty individualized, each one for each individual.
Yeah. Rob, this is great. I mean, and we're going to do this on this show. We're going to tell great local stories and talk about Edmonton events, not always just the leagues we usually cover. So thanks for shining a light on this. Do you guys are there other teams in Edmonton that you have intercity rivalries with?
You said the Red Deer Reapers, the Nova Scotia Spoke Busters. I mean, gosh, these names are epic. Keep going with these names. I want to hear more.
Oh, there's some fun ones. I mean, like there's Ottawa Stingers. I can't remember unfortunately, I can't remember what the Montreal ones are. Our provincial club, our provincial teams, so we have a Division 1 and a Division 2 team. So we're the Roughnecks and the Bighorns. So the Alberta Roughnecks is our Division 1 team, and Division B is the Bighorns. Ontario has their division teams as Thunder, Ontario Lightning, and Storm, I believe. So it's we all like to keep some interesting teams. And I'm sitting outside right now, and my coach is walking by, just glaring at me. That's right. Go eat your Popeye's chicken.
Okay. Well, all right. So St. Francis Xavier Sports Center, Steel Wheels Rugby Club. Can you give us the game times again, or I don't know if there's a schedule online or something if people want to check this out?
Well, even to Reid, I can actually send you our schedule, the game schedule, if that helps. I know tomorrow, so tonight, 5:30 p.m., Steel Wheels versus the Reapers. At 7:30, it's going to be Calgary Red versus Calgary Black. And then the first game tomorrow kicks off with Calgary versus us, the Steel Wheels, at 10 a.m. And all games go throughout the day right up till 4 p.m. And then we start again Sunday at 10 a.m. And our first place and second place game starts at 11:30ish. So I will shoot you these details, and yeah.
Well, Rob, thanks for telling your story, and thanks for telling us a bit about the tournament and Steel Wheels. We really appreciate it. All the best this weekend. I hope we talk again soon.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and thanks for helping us put the sport out there more in like the public light. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. Rob MacIsaac from Steel Wheels Rugby Club, wheelchair rugby at St. Francis Xavier Sports Center. Well, pretty much all weekend long. 5:30 tonight, couple games, kind of 10 to 4 tomorrow, and then 10 to mid-afternoon on Sunday.
Wow.
You like that, eh? I knew you'd like that.
That was awesome.
I knew once you saw the video.
Oh my gosh, that is physical.
They're tough.
I mean, and it's interesting how, like, and if you're listening, it's harder to explain, but a traditional wheelchair that you would normally see, that the wheels are straight up and down. They're vertical, but these ones are definitely leaning inside to outside. And I mean, now I know why. That way would limit you getting your fingers pinched in there and allows you to wedge the bottom of your wheel into somebody else. Man, I was not expecting that, Reid.
Well,
you got me
again. I should have checked if this is still a rule. I remember covering that tournament 25 years ago, and there was a massive collision, and one player got knocked. His chair got knocked over, but he got separated from the chair. I mean, he was a few feet from his chair. That's how hard the collision was. And I was sitting with some fans who had, relatives or friends on the team, and it was play on. And I said, aren't they going to blow the play dead? And not while the other team has the ball. They'll put him back in once his team gets the ball. Like they go hard. It's something. Okay. We got a break for 4:00 here. We'll dive into some more Oilers storylines. We'll tee up the Elks and the CFL weekend because there are some games that are going to impact the Elks standing as well. The Elks standings as well. We are at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common, Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to JamesHBrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Former Oil King Dylan Guenther re-ups with the Utah HC. Guenther signed an 8-year deal worth over $7 million per year. The 3-1 Golden Bears hockey team meet the Calgary Dinos, while the 2-1 Pandas take on the Dinos as well, with that one being at Claire Drake. Both games go at 7. CFL Week 16 kicks off tonight with the Ticats against the Argos. The Stamps then play the Riders at 7:30 in Calgary. Tomorrow it's Elks Bombers down at Commonwealth at 5 o'clock. And the Green and Gold kickoff show with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne go live for 4 to set up the action. If you're at the game, come catch me and Trev at the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate right by the Tall Boys stage. Down at Footfield tonight, the 1-3 Golden Bears football team kick off against the 2-1 Regina Rams. That game starts at 7. Right now, you're listening to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, and that continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Perfect. Yeah, we've been pumping it out too.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. We are going into the weekend here. It's going to be a fun weekend, certainly an Edmonton Golden Bears football game tonight, 7 o'clock at Foot. Elks Bombers tomorrow at 5 at Commonwealth. Big preseason or regular season game, and then the first preseason game for the Oilers is 4 o'clock Sunday as they take on the Winnipeg Jets. And then they have a split squad. Man, I'm just saying weird things today. Split squad game against the Flames on Monday. I'm Reid. He's Jay. And we got Sonny, a special guest. Hey, Sonny.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think you would have put that right up close.
Right
Sorry.
up closer?
Okay, there you go.
So, Sonny, we've been talking all show about how beautiful your store is, how well it's laid out. We've been talking about the custom order stuff that we talked about, mentioned about the sleepologist. What's something that, if you could say, obviously being a family-run business, you're not a big box store, but what's something that differentiates you from the other stores that are here in South Common?
Well, I think there's a lot, but some of the things is that better quality furniture, we feel. A lot of it, our focus is on Canadian or domestic made products. So made in Canada, we want to support Canadian factories. And so we can literally take any piece and change the color, change the configuration. But the beauty about it is our timelines. Our timelines are quicker than almost anyone.
Try this.
Try this way.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
that's better. Okay.
I got bad. I got bad advice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Speak right into that. Why don't you say what you're saying? I touched on it earlier about your timelines, but go ahead with that.
Timeline is just that you come in and a lot of places you got to settle, right? You need something, but you're settling for just off the shelf. Whatever you see is what you get. Here, you like something, we can change it up for you. We have hundreds of fabrics that you can pick, leathers even, make a different configuration, sectional, sofas, and we can have it here delivered in your home within 4 weeks.
That's incredible, and especially this day and age, that's tough to do. And now there's also the sleep side, which is blew my mind when I came in here and we were discussing how this is going to go. Because as you nasties know, Sonny is a big part of the morning show. He's a big part of our show, and we appreciate your support. So if you want to support, who supports EST, Sit and Sleep, and Sonny's your guy. But talk about the sleepologist.
Yeah, our sleepology system is fantastic. So we've been in the mattress business a long time, and kind of if you go to places, first of all, it's very overwhelming buying a mattress. You walk into a mattress store and you see a sea of 40, 50 beds and you get confused. You don't know what to buy, right? And even the people selling it to you, it's no wonder they're just basically telling you, what do you like? You like soft, you like firm, here, try this one. And then you take it home and then they'll offer all these guarantees, like, okay, take it home for 30 days and try it. The reason they offer that is just because they don't know, right? It's basically, they say, go try it if you don't like it. But that's just a hassle. You got to then bring it back. You got to do. So with us, we've invested in what's called Sleepology. It pressure maps your body. So it's a technology. It's a bed, basically. It has over 1,600 sensors. And you come in, we can see the heat map, where your pressure is, and we can basically pinpoint the right mattress for you and your partner.
Incredible.
And we have it all coded. It's got sleep IDs on all the beds. It's very simple. It takes a few minutes, and it really takes the guesswork out of buying a mattress.
I did it. It literally took under 3 minutes, and then you had my sleep number, and we went to the beds that would be appropriate for my number, given that I'm a side sleeper. But it really dials things in. Now I got to ask you, because obviously sofas, sectionals, there's always been the battle of what is what's best for the room. Are a lot of your sectionals also available as sofas, and vice versa? Like if somebody sees a sofa on your floor, but they really need to fit that bonus room above the garage, or is a lot of this stuff can it be customized that way, Sonny?
Yeah, for sure.
No, okay, yeah, that side's better. Yeah, okay, good.
All right, we got it now.
Okay, is that better now?
Oh yeah, now. Well, it was okay. You were piping it up there, but now we really got you loud and clear.
Yeah, so basically most of the sofas can all be converted into sectionals and vice versa. What we ask, what the best thing to do is if you can bring your room plan in, your room measurements, and we can basically customize and fit the sectional or the sofa to fit perfectly in that space.
Okay. You're wearing your Oilers shirt.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, how are you feeling? Well, first of all, how did you deal with so close yet so far last year in the playoffs?
What a great season, though, right? An up and down roller coaster of a season, how it started, coaching change, the whole works, and then it was a great season. From being a fan, I know they came up short and we were all disappointed, but we, as fans, we had a heck of a time. It was a heck of a run, and it was very memorable, and we give the guys a lot of credit. I mean, they were this close, and I think this year it'll be time to go all the way.
And how are you feeling about going into this season? I mean, a few changes. A lot of the team is back, but a few changes.
Yeah, I mean, the forward group, I haven't seen this deep of a forward group in how long. I mean, I think it's going to be great. I mean, the defense on the other side, I think there's a couple of question marks. I think they're going to find out at training camp, they're saying, but I feel great. I think this is the best team we've seen in a long time.
Right on. Okay. Sonny, thanks for welcoming us this afternoon. This is an awesome location.
And we'll be here again. We'll be here a couple more times, I believe.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. So we've got it all set up. We're going to have you on. And, each time that we're here, we'll obviously furniture store floors change quite often. So is there anything in particular for this upcoming weekend that, you'd like to tell people if they're interested or, looking for a new sofa, sectional, or a mattress?
Yeah, so our grand opening is on. We're at the tail end of our grand opening sale. So everything in the store is currently on sale. And we have free white glove delivery on everything, which means full delivery and setup on anything in the store.
Wow.
Plus free customizing fabric changes. So if you're picking a fabric, normally that's extra to change it. That's all included at no charge. And for Edmonton Sports Talk listeners, if they say that they heard us or saw us or anything and mention Edmonton Sports Talk, there'll be an additional no GST for this weekend for them.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
Perfect. I think next time we're going to have to wear white gloves, Reid.
That's right.
Right? Just to propel the whole white glove. That's a big cost that you're eating.
Yeah.
Because I know that takes time, and we all know what time costs. So, Sonny, great to have you on. Thanks for partnering with EST and being such a great partner. And like you heard here, if you're looking for something, a sectional, a sofa bed, upholstered bed, curved sofa, power reclining, how can you tell I used to own a furniture store?
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
You come on down and talk to Sonny here. He'll take care of you, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Sonny.
Guys.
Thanks, Sonny. Appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by. Well, he'll be around still.
He'll be here.
That's Sonny
that's part of,
sit and sleep.
Being the big dog at the store. It's you got to be here. So,
well, yeah, you used to be that.
Yeah, it's time consuming, I got to say. Not like now, Reid. Now I got all the time.
Now we got all the time in the world. You get to do 3 hours to go on Edmonton Sports Talk with me every day. All right, Jay Milne, Reid Wilkins, as we take you into your weekend here. So we've had some fun topics. Well, the fun off-topic topic for William Huff, your competitive achievement you're most proud of, and it doesn't have to be sports.
Yeah, I've got some
people
good ones
understood. They're starting to get us. Because there's a lot of self-deprecation there.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of, I know this actually isn't pretty good, but I want to do it. So we know we had some audio issues there with Sonny off the top, everybody. Thanks for telling us, but I think we more or less got them ironed out.
Jason and Andrea chimed in. They were up for, was it most committed? Nasty, yeah. Right. She says she could beat Jason at Wii Bowling back in the day. That was her achievement.
That's kind of important.
Department of Nuge Defense said, speed Jello eating contest in a staff fundraiser at the St. Albert Hospital downed a 15 by 6 inch pan of Jello using chopsticks in 10 minutes.
I have never heard of speed Jello eating.
I don't want to hear about it.
Maybe we should find video of that.
Says haven't ate Jello since.
Yeah, that would put you off Jello.
Yeah, I think it would as well. Bronco Nick, 2 achievements, scored a direct goal from my corner kick and scored from my side of half in the same game.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Second achievement.
Didn't say who he was playing against.
It could have been 3-year-olds. Second achievement, ate 26 pieces of KFC in 1 2-hour sitting as a 13-year-old. 26
That's impressive.
Pieces.
No, when you're 13, you can eat a lot.
Well, your body can allow that.
In the right
yeah,
mindset.
I don't know. Oh, man.
That's pretty impressive, though.
And Ken Castor 1990, he chimed back in and says, guys, I wish I'd won the Big Nate playoff pool. He just beat out 11 people, other students and one instructor. So he says it was $150, not the big one
that would have been thousands.
Right.
Those are cool, though. We're going to do my top 3 as we move along this afternoon as well. I want to hop back to what we were talking about from a lighthearted level, first of all, of the Rodgers Salah non-hug hug last night during Thursday Night Football. So Rodgers is coming off. His coach goes to hug him. Rodgers kind of puts a couple hands on his chest, and they don't really hug. And then Rodgers, after the game, says, well, he's not a hugger. He's a chest patter. So I was patting his chest, and he's big on having a 2-score lead.
Yes.
So Rodgers was going, I was saying 2-score lead, and he wants to hug me, and I didn't expect that. But we got talking about awkward celebrations or teammates, in Tom Brady's case, being ignored when he was looking for a high five in that one game. But you also made a good point how now everything is almost overly scrutinized. And let's face it, I think that anybody who was saying, dissension between the quarterback and the coach, come on, settle down. Like, that never looked like a moment of dissension. Last year with Evander Kane and Corey Perry on the bench, I mean, that happens. And they talked about it and joked about it a couple of days later. What did Kane say? Brothers fight? And
yeah, I mean, that's just...
There was something to iron out. I'm sure maybe in a perfect world, they would have done it in the dressing room. But you made a great point how now things have changed, that there are cameras everywhere. Yep. I mean, there's, a dozen or so cameras for an NHL game. NFL will have even more. And then when you get into the playoffs and into the Super Bowls and stuff like that, there are even more. So you can't really escape it. And there's always bench reactions, coach reactions, McDavid reactions, McKinnon reactions when the star players, they're always watching someone on the bench. So you can't really ever have a moment where you might mutter a naughty word or bark at a teammate even a little bit.
Well, why do you think
broadcast?
Why do you think coaches all talk like this, or put their hand over their mouth when they're having a conversation on the sideline?
Because they're paranoid.
Because there are lip people that will post this to social media, and you'll have lip readers galore coming up saying, "Oh my gosh, they're talking about some girl in the row 8," like stuff you don't want to have out there.
I do think that's a little much when a coach is calling a play and he puts his play sheet over his.
Have you heard of Connor Stallions?
No.
You have not?
Of Connor Stallions?
Connor Stallions, the sign stealer from Michigan. He was
the sign stealer. Sorry.
But there's not a lip reader. There's lip readers too.
Right.
Like, that's if they're stealing signs, you're watching your lips.
Right. But then you got to get that information in pretty fast. Anyway. But I remember, so this was 2017 probably. So Jason Moss is the coach of the Elks, and Hervey's the GM. Then Moss had a game, he knocked over a water cooler, and then they had their thing when, we're not wearing the live mics, and Moss was like, well, I'll wear it on my sock, and
right.
The league and TSN weren't happy about that. And then, I was talking with Blake Dermott on my other show. He said, now, so Jason Moss has this reputation as a hothead.
Yes, he does.
And Blake made the point, and TSN is going to play that up as much as they can because they're mad he wouldn't wear the mic. So every time he does something on the bench that's a little over the top or a little yelly, they're going to go back and show it. And he said, I'm sure whoever the coaches were in the league at that time bark and get mad and look upset, but that's now a storyline with Jason, and they're going to make sure it gets seen over and over again and every time. So they keep kind of almost embarrassing him since he was the guy that didn't want to wear the live mic.
Yeah.
I think there was something to that.
Well, he wasn't playing ball. He wasn't following the rules just exactly how they wanted him to. So now you're going to go out of your way to try and, highlight that whenever possible. Right.
Right. So that's just something that made me think of that when we were talking about that from earlier with, Rodgers and his coach getting caught in that awkward non-embrace.
Yeah, and it is too bad. I really wish that wasn't the case. But, I mean, now it's almost like there's, half the fans watching an NFL game, certainly a Chiefs game, are there to watch the game. There's a large contingent that are there to see if Taylor Swift's at the game. That's just the world we live in. And I have
her
no
reactions
problem
get shown now.
Yeah, because you know what? You're getting to see somebody that's always on stage performing, have a normal reaction and an honest reaction, right? But that's where it's at. I mean, pop culture, it's a big business. It's a big business. There's a lot of money in that. So.
All right. Anyway, 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. We are on location for the James H. Brown studio today at Sit and Sleep, James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them at jameshbrown.com today and book your private consultation. We are going to get to my top 3 for Fuge sausages, an Oiler-related topic. We'll have some other Oilers storylines as well. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Former Oil King Dylan Guenther re-ups with Utah. Guenther signed an 8-year deal worth over $7 million average. The 3-1 Golden Bears hockey team meets the Calgary Dinos, while the 2-1 Pandas take on the Dinos as well down at Claire Drake. Both games go at 7. CFL Week 16 kicks off tonight when the Ticats play the Argos. The Stamps then play the Riders later at 7:30. Tomorrow it's the Elks versus the Bombers down at Commonwealth. The Green and Gold kickoff show with Matthew Wanick And Jay Milne goes live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at 4 o'clock, just an hour before the action. If you're at the game, come catch me and Trev at the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate, where we'll be giving away some chips, sunglasses, and we even got cornhole. Down at Footfield tonight, it's the 1-3 Golden Bears taking on the 2-1 Regina Rams. That game goes at 7. Just after the break, Reid and Jay continue their on-location broadcast from Sit and Sleep. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price of just $8.99. Sides extra. It's Mr. Mike's Mike Burger Madness, and you'd be mad to miss it. Offer ends September 30th. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Okay, it is Friday. Hope everybody is doing great. Thanks a lot for checking out the show. Thanks a lot for participating in the show in our inbox or in our nasty chat. You can also email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We've been having some fun with the off-topic topic, which we do daily on the show for William Huff. I also do a daily top 3, and I never tell Jay anything about it beyond the topic. And so sometimes he might say, well, this here'd be something I would have, or he'll just react to mine or whatever. So first of all, mine today is going to involve predictions. But before I give the exact thing, I think it's important that I lay out for the audience and for you, Jay, about my relationship and attitude towards predictions, especially as I have become
Nostradamus.
That'd be creepy. Especially as I have had a career as a sports broadcaster.
Okay.
For 24 years.
A little bit of what?
So
short time.
First of all, there are some, and some people will giggle at this. The people who don't believe this will giggle at this. But I have noticed that there are some audience members who, when they ask me for a prediction, they are convinced that that's going to be what happens because I cover sports. Whereas really, like a lot of other people who follow sports, it's a somewhat educated guess. I mean, predictions are dangerous and difficult. So I always say that it's like, still remember, anything can happen. But I think most people know, even if you're asking a sports personality to make a prediction, hopefully you realize they could be wrong.
Well, yeah.
They're just telling you what they think and what they observe.
Quite easily they could be wrong.
Yes, and often are. So, and then you have to remember something else, that it's all part of the presentation. And sometimes I might make a prediction just to do something a little different. Oh, I see everybody is picking Team A.
Right.
Well, I guess I'll pick Team B.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have done that. I fully admit. Now, usually when we do predictions, I will do my best to make an educated and informed selection, as we did a couple of weeks ago with our NFL preseason picks, which I said I would save, and I don't think I did.
Me neither.
We both had Kansas City and Detroit in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Except you had Kansas City winning. I have Detroit winning.
Right. So it's remember that it's fun. And I know in history, I think it was Stan Fischler, the hockey writer, that would make like the most outrageous predictions ever, just so he could say, "See, I told you," if something actually happened.
Right.
But really, they were sort of often very silly and really not things you would spend a lot of time thinking about. But that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do my top 3 overly specific Oilers predictions for the upcoming season. Okay? The top 3 presented by Food Sausage, the best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. Yes, get 10% off your order by entering the online code EST, or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in the store. Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. So this is a totally fun, somewhat cheeky segment, though there is one thing in here that I might give a little bit more credence to. But again, these are my overly specific predictions for the upcoming Edmonton Oilers season. Okay?
Okay, hang on.
Yes.
Like, so these are these are real.
These are things that could happen.
Things that could happen.
But they're going to be overly specific.
Okay.
So yesterday, we got talking about a defenseman getting 100 points in a season.
Yes.
And I made an overly specific prediction yesterday that it would be one of Makar, Q Hughes, or Bouchard that would get there.
Yep.
So I'm going to give my overly specific prediction for Evan Bouchard's stats.
Okay.
Coming off a season in which he had 18 goals and 64 assists for 82 points and went plus 34.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think Evan Bouchard will quite get to 100, but I think he'll get over 20 goals. I'm going to give Evan Bouchard 24 goals and 66 assists for 90 points, and I'm going to say he's going to be plus 37.
Plus 37. Okay.
I should have predicted how many shots on goal he'll have.
That
would have been extremely specific.
Extremely specific. So, okay, 24 goals, 66 assists. That would get him to 90 points.
Yes.
That's 90 points.
I'm going to say he gets to 90 this year.
Okay, well, that would be it. That would be good. That would be good for Oilers fans. That would be good for Evan Bouchard. It might end up costing Oilers fans a lot more down the road, though. But continue.
So then the other thing I have is the Oilers power play. Now, first of all, I got to get into this. The Oilers power play the last 5 seasons, going from the oldest season to the most recent, so starting back in 2019-2020, per year has been 29.5, 27.6, 26% even, 32.4% new record, and then last season plummeted to 26.3%.
Plummeted.
Now, historically, first of all, this is a historic power play. Other great power plays are the Islanders of the late 70s and early 80s, the Canadians of that same era, the Oilers of the mid 80s. But generally, you're good for 3 to 4 years where you're up, high 20s, maybe eclipsing 30. So I think the Oilers can keep going here. I think that they will definitely get another season over 25%.
But that's not specific enough.
That's not nearly specific enough. I'm going to predict the Oilers power play to break its own league record for percentage and go 32.7%.
Noted.
I love Matt Hyman. I should have said Bouchard's
Which one?
Primary versus secondary assists. That last one.
Yeah. He's on it.
That would have been very. I'll have to do a list at some point. What would we call it? Unbelievably specific picks. Since I don't like the word unbelievable.
You can't do that. No, you just can't do it.
Overly particular predictions. So I'm going for my first overly specific Oilers prediction for the upcoming season is Bouchard, 24 goals, 90 points, and he goes plus 37.
Yep.
And then I'm saying the Oilers power play will finish at 32.7%. I was tempted to say 33.3, But in the spirit of being overly specific, I said to myself, no, they're not going to get to exactly 1/3. It'll only be 32.7.
Okay. But it would be funny if they did now.
Yes. Okay. And my last one, I need my internet page here. So last season, you may remember the young Connor Brown.
Yes.
Comes in.
I recall the name.
Plays in the top 6, doesn't score. Plays lower in the lineup, doesn't score. Finally scores. Got 4 goals in the regular season. And then he gets 2 goals, both big ones in the playoffs. I mean, he's pretty good. He had 6 points in the playoffs. I believe Connor Brown is going to bounce back quite extensively. So my overly specific prediction for Connor Brown will be that he will have a 20-goal season. He will score his 20th goal as the 3-on-3 overtime winner in the Oilers' final game of the regular season, at which point the Oilers will have a playoff spot secured. Connor and Leon won't play. They'll tinker with the lineup a little bit, and it'll go to overtime, which means a player like Connor Brown will get ice time in overtime, and he'll score the game winner in the final game of the regular season to get his 20th goal of the year, completely bouncing back from his 4-goal campaign in which he went 50-some games or whatever it was without scoring. How's that one?
Very, very specific. Yeah, I must say you've nailed it. You're driving home the point of very, very, very specific predictions. But, I mean, if 2 out of the 3 of these happen, it's looking like a much improved year for the Oilers.
Well, okay, first of all, in all seriousness, who's the final? And the final game is at San Jose. Yeah, that could go to overtime. Sure, why? Like I'm actually predicting the outcomes of games on April 16th. Everybody, but in all seriousness, with the power play, I just think this is such a great power play, and I just totally embrace how good it is, and that opportunity to be over 30% again, and that opportunity to maybe set another league record for percentage. And I've said this, I can't remember if I've ever said it on air, but I know I said this to my dad one night in the last couple of years, just talking about the Oilers. And I said, when Leon and Connor are no longer on the Oilers, I'm not going to be able to watch a power play and actually evaluate it, because it's going to be a dramatic drop-off. I mean, the power play could be 23% respectable, and you'd be thinking, I don't know, it's not that good. Or it could have just kind of a standard power play where they work hard and shoot and jam pucks on net and get rebounds and score. And I'd be sitting there thinking, where's the 90-foot cross-seam pass to Draisaitl for a one-timer who has 1 foot below the goal line as he fires under the crossbar? It's just so magical. And that's only mentioning Connor and Leon. Forget about, I'm not even mentioning Hyman, the fearless, hardworking net front guy, net presence. I guess he's not always in the front. Sometimes he just stands to the side and is like, hey, Boosh, just bank it in off me.
Yeah, just attaches his stick to the side of his skate blade and hope it bounces in.
And then you have Bouchard, who, if he's not the best power play point man in the league, is on an extremely short list of the best. And then, oh, by the way, there's a guy who was drafted first overall and has a 100-point season and works his butt off and can pass the puck and has a decent wrist shot of his own, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's pretty good with puck retrieval and getting pucks along the wall. I thought some of his board work in the playoffs, by the way, was really good. He set up some goals by hard work along the wall.
He's just a likable player, lovable player.
That's the power play. Again, and I know once we get into the season, and I lived it on Inside Sports and Overtime Open Line, and once we get into the season, things get nitpicked, and 1 or 2 losses can feel like the end of the world. And certainly last year, the start of last year was terrible. I get it. But I also think to myself, just soak this power play in. This is what you get to see 82 times, and then however many more in the playoffs. It's okay, Jay. So you watch the games, and now you're going to watch them, from a slightly different angle, because you're going to have to know you're going to talk about it the next day.
Fair.
But when the Oilers got a power play, like, would you ever think, oh, you know what? I really got to leave the room. Or I forgot to take the garbage. Like, it's must-see television.
Very much so.
Because they might score, which is the ultimate goal, but what's the quality of the goal going to be? Like, it might be well, I don't want to miss possibly the most spectacular goal I'm ever going to see, or Bouchard's hardest shot I'm ever going to see. It's that good. It's that special, which is I'm just still embracing it. They've been together a long time. I mean, Barry, even when Barry was there the first couple of years of this, don't forget, and then Bouch came in.
Yeah, but you have one of the top 5 defensemen in the NHL on that power play. You have 2 of the top 3 players in the NHL on that power play.
Mm-hmm.
It should be out-of-worldly. It should.
Yeah, and it is.
It is.
That's the great part.
Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying to you, though, as someone who was watching the game. So what would you think when the other team got a penalty?
Good luck. Going for the over.
And that's
it wasn't. Yeah, I mean that's the mentality, is that was a power play that would score more than likely. I mean, obviously not more than likely, but at a very impressive clip. And it became a big issue in the playoffs, did it not? When that was a story. You cannot control Connor McDavid and his open freewheeling style by taking penalties, because it'll cost you more. Right?
Well, okay, let's look at one of the signature games from the playoffs. They beat Dallas 2-1. 10 shots on goal.
Mm-hmm.
2 power play goals.
Yep.
McDavid undresses Dallas, including Heiskanen, who's an elite defenseman,
sure,
and scores. And then he sets up Hyman for a wrist. That wasn't a typical Hyman goal. He does have a good sort of mid-range shot and can score from that range. And that was one of them. McDavid gets to him. He snaps it in. So they get outplayed. They get 10 shots on goal. Skinner has to play great, but they win the game because they scored on their power play. And I'm even with them, if they're, because a lot of power plays, there's ebbs and flow to them. And even the Oilers, I mean, sometimes they have a game where it doesn't maybe look as good or as dangerous. But if they're 0 for 7 and then they get a power play with a minute left to win, I'm still thinking they're scoring. I'm not thinking about the 0 for 7. I'm thinking about, look at this team's reputation and what they've done. And that's the crazy thing, Jay. If the Oilers have a power play where they get 3 middling chances and don't score, you kind of think, that's not a good power play. But other teams might be, well, you know what? We created stuff. Like, good. The Oilers getting solid chances that aren't remarkable chances are almost, that's almost disappointing. Like, that's how good the power play is.
It's weird when you put it in that perspective, because what they're capable of and what they normally do is incredible. And it's, as an Oilers viewer, you're spoiled with greatness, right? So yeah, if it is something that, it will be a letdown. I must say that really sunk in, that hit deep, that once these were, riches that are blessing this Oilers power play right now, once they're gone, that's, they may never be another
that's what I'm saying.
Like this for Edmonton.
Maybe that should have been, well,
or not in
that
the
could
near
be
future.
To me, this is a horrible thought to have. Can you imagine watching a power play in 10 years or 15 years with McDavid?
That's somewhat normal.
They had normal power play.
Ugh.
And
turn it off.
Here's another thing: the zone entries, because McDavid just skates it in, and if he doesn't, Draisaitl can skate it in, and Nugent Hopkins can also skate it in.
Yeah, that's
zone entry.
That is a good point, and a lot of teams now are making, you're doing that thing where you back pass it to your best skater, and they skate it in and enter it. But every Oilers fan knows that they're going to skate it in. It's going to drop it to Nuge. Nuge is going to, saucer one across the blue line to Bouchard, and there you go. You're set up. You're in the offensive zone. You're set up. You're skating around. Connor skates around the net. Like, we all know that play.
Right. And you make a good point, because if they don't drop it to Connor to skate it in, the other guys are skilled enough to pass it in. And usually everybody knows they're dropping it to Connor. And this is the beauty of McDavid and other great players. When he hits the blue line at speed, you don't know where he's going to go. I mean, a lot of guys, fast guys, well, I'll drive wide. And defensive teams say, like, yeah, just drive wide. Eventually, I meet you at the board somewhere. McDavid, he's fearless going into the middle, even with the man advantage.
Well, and you have to respect the speed.
Right.
That's why the zone entries are so simple and they're not simple plays. They are not simple plays. This is an extraordinary hockey player making it look simple because he's dummied and sillied enough defensemen in the NHL to say, holy, you know what? I'm going to start backpedaling now because I don't want to be the New York Rangers on primetime TV getting 3 guys busted kneecaps and a goal for
Which
Connor
wasn't
McDavid.
Even a power play.
It wasn't even a power play, but it was its own re-entry.
Yes.
Right? Where he just decided to take over. And yeah, that's a respect. That is a respect that's obviously due, but that's just what it is. And you're right. And now everybody's going to be sad for the rest of the day.
Well, Colin and Ellerslie said the future talk is depressing. Let's just focus on the present.
Yeah!
I think it means what I'm saying. Imagine the team in 10 years.
That was Cole that was just here.
Or Cole
and Ellerslie, yeah.
Cole, sorry. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, and that's why I try to be really optimistic about the power play and some other things, is because it is so good. And let's not get down on the 0 for 5 or the 0 for 4 nights. Let's just realize how dangerous and creative that it is.
Well, and let's just remember that according to Reid, it's going to be a 32.7% clip.
Somebody will save these.
And Connor, I'm going to take a picture of it and post it to X because it's got to happen. But no, I didn't want to get off your point there. I was just
could you read one of the Rip City step ones I saw? It's down. It's a newer one.
I'm liking these predictions, is what he said.
No, there's more. Yes.
The Oilers PP is must-watch TV. I can barely watch any other PP in the NHL now without being bored.
And I find myself watching a game the Oilers aren't in, and they're on the power play, and I'm thinking to myself, why don't they just pass it across ice to a guy for a one-timer? Oh,
he just did that to make me say PP twice in a matter of a sentence.
But it's because it's actually really hard to do that, and the Oilers at times love getting that puck down to Draisaitl, and his ability to one-time even a hard pass. I mean, I know I'm giving these details people have seen, but
you see the gap between those two headboards there, Reid?
Yes.
That's what Leon Draisaitl is looking at, and it's about this big, and he's doing it regularly.
Yes. Well, that goal in Ottawa from the bubble season. Remember when he was below?
He was below the line. Yeah. Incredible,
so
right?
I know we're kind of pointing out things people are seeing, but I feel as if it's worth categorizing them just as a reminder going into the season what special plays they're making with the man advantage. And why it's going to be exactly 32.7%.
I like it. That was an entertaining top 3, I must say. And you know what else is special? Not only is your top 3 special, but a lot of things going on here at Sit and Sleep are special, Reid. Even what Sonny just told us. EST, mention EST if you're coming in. That's what I was looking at. Pacino Pax said bought a sofa at Sit and Sleep last week. That place is legit. Canadian made custom sofa for $14.99 was a no-brainer, and that is a good price. Yeah, there it is. See, getting accused of saying the double P word. I knew Rip. I would have said. I should have.
That's one of my favorite handles of all time. Rip City Step. It just sounds cool,
and it sounds like a Portland Trailblazers thing. Like I don't know why. Because I guess it's Rip City.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right. We got more Oilers chat. We want to talk about the Elks. Huge game tomorrow. So Matthew Iwanek will slide in. We are live at Sit and Sleep. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
CFL Week 16 kicks off tonight. Ticats against the Argos at 5. And then it's the Stamps against the Riders at 7:30 down in Calgary. Before the game tomorrow, which is the Elks and the Bombers down at Commonwealth. The Green and Gold kickoff show with Matthew Iwanek and Jay Milne goes live tomorrow at 4 o'clock to set up that action. If you're at the game, come check out the EST tailgate with me and Trev giving away some sunglasses, some chips, and playing some cornhole. Come on. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson has been cleared for Sunday's game against the Texans, while Houston has listed running backs Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce as doubtful. Veteran Cam Akers stands next in line on the depth chart for Houston. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins says he's good for Sunday's game against the Commanders. If Higgins plays, it'll be his season debut. This sports update has been brought to you by Sit and Sleep. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payments for 18 months, all interest free. And just after the break, Reid and Jay continue their live broadcast from Sit and Sleep right in South Edmonton Common beside the Planet Fitness. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
This will be great.
Tom Gazzola, host of the Oil Stream on Edmonton Sports Talk, will join us at the top of the hour as the Oilers are through the first 2 days of on-ice sessions at training camp. Preseason game Sunday at 4 against Winnipeg. Golden Bears football tonight at 7 at Foot against Regina. We had Golden Bears quarterback Eli Hetlinger on the show earlier. He's ready to go. And tomorrow at 5 at Commonwealth, big game. Elks home to Winnipeg, first of a home and home. Elks are 5-8 after an 0-7 start. The Bombers are 7-6 after an 0-4 start. There were some power rankings out earlier this week, having those teams 1-2. So that was pretty interesting. You and Matthew Awanek will be at Century Casino.
Big Uke Esty for prediction of the year. 32.7 power play. I like it.
Did we have a prediction of the year?
No, but if you nail any of these, it's going to be.
If I nail any of these,
we'll just call it the Nostradamus.
The Connor
Award.
Brown one was my favorite because that was incredibly specific.
And Rip City Step said, "Thanks, Reid. Sounds even better when you're saying it clear and static free."
Oh, thank you very much. So you and Matthew Awanek at 4 o'clock tomorrow have the Green and Gold kickoff show from Century Casino. After the game, you'll have the Green and Gold postgame show. Where is Matthew? I thought he was going to come on with us.
Oh, here he is into the picture.
There he is.
He's on a recliner behind you,
On
Reid.
reclining here at Sit and
I'm going to
Sleep.
stay partly reclined.
Okay, well, I'll try to position myself
Well, no one needs
so
to
the
see me
people
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube
No one
can
cares
see.
Yeah, be comfy.
This is beautiful.
That's a nice sectional. It's a power reclining sectional.
And it's got the USB on the side.
USB, we
which
can
was
plug in
really
and charge.
smart.
Oh, you can charge your phone while you're...
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you're
go all the way
watching
back.
sport, like you're on Twitter, you're watching the sport, your phone's like, oh my God, it's almost dead.
They can see your
boom.
legs.
I could plug it in right into the couch. Boom.
They see your legs.
That's all you need to
That's all
see.
you
Also, my beautiful Fruit Loop socks.
So let's get some context from you guys on having tomorrow's game
It just
being...
looks so weird. But I love it. Sorry, Reid.
On having some context from you guys on having this game tomorrow, having a true meaningful game for playoff positioning, a playoff spot, for them to creep closer to it. When 2 months ago, there was legit concern they might not win a game or do worse than 4-14 from last year. Like, can you give some context of your perspectives of this turnaround and now having such a meaningful game?
Oh, it just goes to show that this team was just a little bit more talented than we all were thinking at the start of the season, and what this season could have been had they got off to that right foot, with whatever, and not necessarily that first win, but if they could have managed a win or two in those first four, like what could this season have fully become? Because like the Elks are in such a unique spot where you mentioned that they are second in that power rankings of the CFL. Like right now we could make a case that they've played the second best. If no, you could actually make a case they played the best football over the last 6 weeks, but they could also be 3 points out of a playoff spot at the end of this weekend.
Yes.
Right. Like that's how crazy of a situation the Edmonton Elks have put themselves in with that poor start to the season, this whole comeback. But it's hard to really figure out, how to put this into perspective, I guess, also partly because we have to see how this fully plays out. But we're watching or getting set to watch a game tomorrow with the two hottest teams right now in the Canadian Football League going at it here in Edmonton. And if Edmonton, they're a team I think teams need to fear. Teams are going to, if you're Winnipeg, you want to knock out Edmonton quickly here because you wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. And you have a really good chance of taking the Elks out this season by just winning these next 2 games. And we'll see what this Elks team can do with Trey Ford as their starting quarterback, which is also just quite wild.
Yeah, you know what, though? I mean, your question was from the start of the year 0-7 to now they're sitting at 5-8. That was, it's kind of a struggle because we now know we've heard the interviews, we've heard what the coaches have said, what the players have said, and this was obviously a bit of a struggle from inside those locker room walls, where it was not as organized or as professional as it should be, but yet that same man that did that or was responsible for that brought in a lot of key pieces. So you're torn between what could have been and where we are, where the team is now. But obviously they have turned the corner. There's no questioning that. But they're not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination. This is still very much so up for grabs. But I mean, the game tonight with Calgary and Saskatchewan is massive. Huge. I honestly think that Saskatchewan should win that game. I think they will win that game if the Stampeders can somehow pull one out. I mean, you said it earlier. They tied Montreal, but I don't know if that's as much on the Stampeders being, the Stampeders being that great, or I really don't have that much faith right now in Montreal. Montreal is on a bit of a
Calgary.
Yeah,
that's Calgary stepped up a bit in that game, and they ultimately should have won that football game. You can make the argument when you're watching it. So it's like, this is a weekend.
A lot of questions will be answered this weekend. Who's for real? Who's not? I know, but here's the thing. I've been saying that
for like the last 3 weekends in the Canadian Football League, and then the next weekend something changes and go, well, now I don't know what to believe about this team again anymore.
No, because you flip flop.
Because that's
if you actually stayed. No, it's not. There's a clear vision. There's a clear path for the Elks here.
You're talking about the Elks.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the whole Canadian Football League. Right?
I don't care. That doesn't.
The Elks,
worry.
Yes. Yes. The Elks go win this.
Yes.
They're
I
a
think
team
they
that
will.
is straight up. They're Grey Cup contenders at that point.
Well,
For sure,
right now they're a Grey Cup contender.
They are, but they're not. They're still sitting out of a playoff spot.
So a lot of questions.
This game, they're not necessarily in the playoff spot. We'll see what happens with Saskatchewan tonight. That determines whether they could be in the playoffs or not after this weekend. But with them having a game against Saskatchewan, them having a game against Calgary and Toronto still after these 2 against Winnipeg, you'd like to think that Edmonton's going to go win those, and they'll be in the playoffs. They go and win split with Winnipeg, but starting with a win tomorrow, they are for sure a legit Grey Cup team contender, because part of that is they will have done something that they have yet to do this season, beat a team that they're not supposed to necessarily beat.
Yeah.
Like they are not the favorite going into tomorrow. Winnipeg is the 1.5 point favorite going into that one. The Edmonton they're the home dogs.
Yeah.
Not by much, but they're still the dogs.
Right.
They go and get this win. That's the first time now finally where it's like, okay, they've gone and achieved something.
And I agree with that. I how can't you? Because it's the truth. I just feel that this is going to be, was Montreal playing? I think Montreal was playing poorly last week. I don't think Calgary's that good. Saskatchewan still has a lot of questions to be answered as well. But this is a test, and to me, the Double E passed that test with sweeping that series against Calgary. They did what they had to do. There's a lot of emotional carryover from that. I think this team is going to come out and take that game tomorrow, because I honestly don't. I honestly don't think that Winnipeg's defense can keep up. I know they're a good defense. It's a great
really
defense.
Good defense.
I
They
just
shut
don't
out
think
the
they
BC
can
Lions
keep up.
with Vernon Adams. Shut them out.
What was I mean, they don't have the depth on offense that the green and gold have.
Sure.
That's not a Trey Ford that's going to. And did you know we had a fellow on earlier from that covers the Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
Derek Taylor.
Yeah, Derek
That's
Derek
right.
Taylor.
Voice of the Bombers. He said that they dropped 7 or 8 back into defensive coverage. I had to like take 2 seconds to listen to that again. What? You're going to let Trey? I mean,
But do you think they're going to do that on tomorrow?
They've been doing it all season.
Do you think they're going to do it though tomorrow with this Elks team, where the strength of this team is the run between the 3 guys, between Trey, between Kevin Brown, and Justin Rankin?
The strength of this team has turned into the run. Now, we've never seen the run going and thriving at the same time as Trey Ford is going and thriving, other than, I guess we did that one game, right?
But that's like, I would be shocked if Winnipeg is going into this game tomorrow dropping 7 and just allowing the Elks to either hand it off to Kevin Brown or Justin Rankin, or letting Trey move a little bit more.
I just
would
love
be
that
surprised by that defense.
I just love we're having this conversation about how is the team going to defend the Elks as opposed to the first half of last season.
It is
when
funny.
it was, well, just put your defense on the field, and McAdoo will call a horrible play, and Cornelius won't be able to throw to anybody. Javon Leake's not going to play, but you have Brown at running back. Rankin has had some good games, so he'll play. I as you guys know, I have a lot of respect for the Bombers. I have a lot of respect for Collaros. Somebody has to go out there and prove it now at this time of year. I know they started poorly. Even last year, remember they got blown out early at home by BC and then beat them badly a few weeks after that. To me, it's realistic that this ends in a split. I do think we're going to continue to learn more about the Elks in these 2 games. But I now have a confidence with the Elks that they will stand in there, because now they are a take a punch and respond with a bigger punch type of team, which they weren't for most of the Chris Jones era. If they fell behind by 6 or even 3, you felt like, oh, I don't know if they can catch up. It's totally different now. And Collaros is not having a great year. And he's had some tough nights at Commonwealth Stadium, injuries too, by the way. So I think
we haven't even talked about Big Hill not being in the lineup.
That's
but
important.
he hasn't been there. He's missed quite a few games for that defense.
True.
He wasn't there on the rematch against the Riders.
Yeah.
They've dealt with a lot of games without Adam Bighill, and that defense still shows up.
So they still have Jefferson, right?
Yes. Willie Jefferson.
He's one of the best players of the last 10 years.
He was a guy I was hoping that Edmonton would be able to bring back at some point.
Yeah.
I just think from what that team has shown us in recent weeks and the way that locker room has responded to such adversity, I am still confident that this team can take both these games.
And you know me, I'm Mr. Pessimistic guy.
Sure. Look at you. You're laissez-faire in the recliner.
Wonderful. Look at that. Bring that foot up a little bit more. I still look at, though, like I need to see a little bit more from the Elks to feel fully comfortable, because I could go through the 5 of 6 wins and go at least in 4 of them. I could point out that it wasn't the best opponent, that it wasn't the most challenging opponent for them. And so it's like, I need to go see them now go do this, where I haven't seen it. When was the last time we saw the Elks go get a signature victory in a season?
Well, right, and that's because they haven't
last
had
Friday.
Because
that's not a signature victory.
Yeah, it is. It's the first time they swept the Labor Day series in 20 years.
You're saying Calgary's not good, so I don't care that they beat a bad football team.
Step number 1 to being a good team is beating bad teams
getting
almost all the time.
Yes.
I'm not saying 100%, but almost all the time. NHL included.
You have to get to step 2. You actually have to win one of those.
It's like when the Oilers would beat San Jose 9-2, and we'd get the calls. Well, they beat. There's only San Jose. I'm like, yeah, but when they lost to San
piled
Jose
up
early
on
in the season, it was coaching change and. Everybody, you got to go out there and pound them. I think they're going to be close. I think it would not surprise me if only one team gets over 20 points tomorrow. It could be a race to 20. Now watch it 48-38. But I do think it's going to be hard hitting. I think there's going to be blows exchanged. And I will admit, part of my evaluation of the Bombers is based on going back to 2019. If it was just this season, I'd probably think, the Elks have figured it out and they should be pronounced favorites. But I just know time and time again, the O'Shea Bombers have risen in these types of games.
They're always going to have that pulse.
The Elks
right?
have not beaten the Bombers since 2018. The
Yeah,
Bombers find
11
away
games
against
or something?
Yeah, the Bombers find a way against this team. And Kenny Lawler's a guy that puts up good numbers against the Edmonton Elks. Brady Oliveira he may have not scored a touchdown this season, but he's having a great season. And they've got some players, and that defense scares me, and I will just be worried that the Elks will get swept in these two until I see otherwise. That I have that fear. So I hope I'm proven wrong tomorrow.
People love you two together, eh?
Dave, yeah, chiming in on the EST inbox saying the banter between Jay and Matt are why everyone needs to listen to the Elks pre and post game show. I agree. Matt and Glue Guy might have to hug it out soon.
Why?
We're just talking. Big Uke says I can't wait for the pregame show tomorrow. And that is the truth. I just find it funny that you're sitting here in this reclining chair.
They don't have this at Century Casino, I can tell you that much.
No. It would be awkward if you and I lied down together and did a show.
Oh, my God. Well,
Wouldn't that be, you want to know something? You could sit on the other end of the couch, and I could sit on this end.
Yeah.
And Reid could sit in the middle.
We could have done the whole broadcast from a section.
That's what I wanted you guys to do. I wanted you guys to be in the couch for the show.
Well, I'd like
but it's a little messy.
Formal and presentable.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Yeah, but how often you get to do a show on a couch? We did a Park MGM in Vegas. It was great.
Okay, we got a break. Matthew, thanks for coming on. But
Yeah,
now,
you bet.
now I dismiss you.
It was one of those.
Guards.
It took a lot for me to get here, so I'm glad.
Sonny,
to get
security.
on. Go back down.
Good Elks chat. We got Oilers chat coming up with Tom. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
In just a moment, it's kickoff for CFL Week 16. The Tiger Cats against the Argos. And later tonight, the Riders face the Stamps at 7:30. Tomorrow, it's the Elks Bombers down at Commonwealth with the game starting at 5 o'clock. The Green to Gold kickoff show with Matthew Wannick and Jay Milne goes live at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge just an hour before the action. And if you're at the game, make sure to come by the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate right by the Tall Boys stage where you can say hi to me and YouTube Trev. Play some cornhole and pick up some sunglasses and chips. Right now in the MLB, it's the Blue Jays up against the Rays at the bottom of the first. It's tied at 0-0. The Reds are up 1-0 against the Pirates at the bottom of the second. And earlier today, it was the Cubs beating the Nationals 3-1. Right now, you're listening to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. We'll get back to Reid and Jay where they're broadcasting live from Sit and Sleep. I'm Zachary Kubish. And that was your EST update.
Matty Tommy is joining us for the rest of the
He's
show.
just going to sit there and hover.
He is our model.
And the couch behind us at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common. We're here until 6 o'clock, part of their grand opening. And they do have a deal if you come in and say, hey, Edmonton Sports Talk, I heard about you guys at Edmonton Sports Talk. Which is
no
cool.
GST has been offered for any EST listeners. Tell your friends, tell your family, and Spency 5 Centsy. I confirmed that they do have cat-proof couches, and that is legit. There's actually the couch that Maddie's sitting on behind us is a product that looks like leather, does not feel like leather. You cannot scratch it. It is remarkable material. So yeah, they've got sectionals, sofas, deep sofas, curved sofas, upholstered beds, condo-sized sofas, which would be good for our next guest, our the one and only Tommy Gazzola, who should be joining us soon here. He went and bought a new couch recently.
Oh, did he? That's exciting. Tom, how are you doing?
Hi, boys. I'm good. I'm doing good. And Jay would know all about couches and the materials involved and which are good for sitting and some that are good for sleeping and perhaps even those that are good for both. And I believe when I told Jay which couch I bought and where I got it, he was not happy with me. But it's been good. It's been good. And I should have taken or gone to Jay prior to my decision to go elsewhere. But if you need a good one, I'm assuming, actually, I know that Sit and Sleep has got whatever you need.
Sit and Sleep, right there, right above Maddie's head.
I like how he's part of the accoutrement of the rest of this show, by the way.
Yeah.
He's sitting there like a G, as one would say.
Just sitting there, just hovering like a specter.
I like how
All right.
you guys gave him the extra mic, and he didn't even turn to face you guys, and he just spoke into it. That was also
he decided that he wanted to just be almost, see, the voice of God thing from the Estes may have got to his head a bit. He just wanted to, oh shoot, I thought that was Matt. I thought that was Matt still
Matt's
sitting
head. No, just my chair. We're good.
Yeah, no, it's been a lovely day here. It's a beautiful store. We're very happy to be here. And VR Montenegro in the nasty chat, what makes them cat-proof? Well, it's a product called Leather Air. Google Leather Air, and you'll find out that it's very durable, looks like leather, but you can't scratch it.
Okay.
Like I just scratched Reid.
You just scratched me. Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Tom, good to see you at training camp the last couple of days. Calvin Pickard spoke today, and I mentioned him yesterday when I did my top three as Oilers, can they do it again storylines. You know, he played 26 games, was quite solid, save percentage above the league average, had that shutout that he didn't get credit for in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He had to share it with Skinner, who played like 72 seconds or something. And the reason I put that on there is just because Pickard's career has been so I mean, he hasn't been really an NHL goaltender for a long time, since about 2017, a full-time NHL goaltender. So it's not that I don't think he can be good. I just think now he's coming in with there's actual expectations. He's not the organizational number 3. He's expected to spell off Skinner. He's expected to play half the back-to-backs. But he kind of said today when I asked him about that, he's like, well, really not that different. You know, I got to do my job and support Stu and all that kind of stuff. What do you make of the storyline for him this season and how he sort of answered some of the questions in the scrum today?
Reid, I mean, I loved your question, first of all, and I think it's completely valid. And it's kind of neat to see the varying opinions on Calvin Pickard. But honestly, he's a guy that I look at and I just think he's just solid. And he's 32 years old. He's been around the league as Iwanek is frolicking in the background. He knows what to expect. He knows what's going to be demanded or asked of him this year. And I don't think he's the type of guy that gets rattled by it. He was supposed to be Colorado's goalie of the future a decade ago. It didn't pan out. The Avs were going through, a bad cycle, let's call it. And, they moved on from him. And he kind of scratched and clawed his way to his next contract with his next franchise in the NHL. A lot of that time was spent in the AHL. He hangs in there. And when guys go through those experiences, especially goalies, considering how tough a job that is and how grinding it can be mentally, he's at a point now where you could just tell by his demeanor, he's pretty composed. And I think, pressure slides off of him or it's like water off his back. And I think he's more than comfortable in his role as the solidified backup. And I think what he accomplished last year with this team is doable again this year. And if he has to take on the reins of the starter for a week or two because Stu Skinner is nicked up or maybe Stu Skinner is having a tough stretch, I think Pickard is more than adequate to step in and handle that role. But he knows he's the number 2. There's no question that he is the backup and he's not challenging for the starter's job. But I look at him and I go, that was a solid find, good patience by the Oilers. Nicely done by Pickard to take his opportunity in Bakersfield and then eventually with Edmonton and to fully run with it. So this is a good job on both parts, the player and the organization, and they found a mutual symmetry. So I think they just have a solid backup. And I said this on Oil Stream earlier, and I'll stand by it, guys. Someone said that they think Calvin Pickard's like a smaller Mikko Koskinen. I think he's a better NHL goaltender, more consistent NHL goaltender than Mikko Koskinen ever was.
Wow, I'd never heard that comparison before.
It was different.
Yeah, I mean, to Koskinen's credit, and I used to put out his stats, and obviously we would talk about Koskinen was capable of having a good 7, 8, 9, 10 game run, with a 915 save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Koskinen's problems were his off nights. And sometimes your low end is just as important as your ceiling, right? That's why a player like Derek Ryan always gets to play. Okay, he's high end isn't that high, but he never really goes below a pretty solid level when he plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to the person who wrote that, I would challenge that a little bit because Pickard this past year didn't have a game where he bottomed out like Koskinen would sometimes. For most nights he was at least pretty solid and at least found a way to give the Oilers a chance. So I don't know if that's really a fair comparison between those two goalies.
Yeah, and that's why it stood out to me, Reid. And it was just one of those ones where I was like, whoa, like, okay, let's take a look at this. And I look back at those Mikko Koskinen years, and you're right, he would let that stinker in, or the first shot goal of the game, which that was something that plagued the Cam Talbot era. It also got to Mike Smith. There's been times where Stu Skinner was bitten by it. And I think you can even go back to the Ben Scrivens, Victor Fost era, where every now and then, every few games, it seemed like the first or second shot would go in. And Calvin Pickard, even though he's not a sexy goalie and he's not going to, probably ever be an all-star in the NHL, there's a level of consistency there that you can rely on, and I think that's where the Oilers are comfortable with him.
Tommy, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, you and Reid talked about it a bit yesterday on our show, about Coach Knobloch and how the calmness that he exudes throughout his on ice, his off ice. You've obviously covered training camps for several years. Do you see that as a difference that rubs off on the players overall, through the latter stages of last year and into this year, as more of a calming presence? Or do you find that the players are skilled enough and old enough where the coach is there to pretty much write things up and that's how it's going to be?
You know what, Jay, that last point you made, I think is valid. Like, these guys, this is one of the oldest teams in the NHL, and they should be capable of just knowing the task, going out there and executing, practice game, what have you. But they're still athletes. They still need to be kind of guided, and they still need the tutelage of their coaches, and they need those guys to lean on for their wisdom and the vision and the execution of the game plan. And so I asked that to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins today. I said, hey, you've been through thick and thin with this organization. You've been to the top and the bottom with this team when it comes to performance and standings and all of that. And you've done it with a number of different general managers and even more head coaches and probably a couple hundred players. What's the difference and what does Chris Knobloch bring to the table? And he goes, yeah, he's kind of like how he is when he talks to you guys. He's just very composed and he's not really going to yell at you. And, he just delivers the message concisely and quietly. And It's up to us to go out there and take care of it. But it's almost like, Jay, that in this growth cycle of this era of Oilers, Chris Knobloch's demeanor, his tact, poise, however you want to describe it, it fits in well with where this group is with their maturation process and their experience collectively. And yeah, maybe they don't need a screamer back there, a guy that's going to kick them in the butt, a guy that's going to be asking for 110% every day, all day, even if they're in a stretch where they have, 2 games in a week and they need 110 at practice. He's not that type of guy. And I think that these guys have been around long enough that they can appreciate that. And when a message is delivered, they take it and they go with it. And that's probably a good part of why they were able to turn it around under Chris Knobloch, Paul Coffey, obviously, Mark Stewart and Glenn Gulletson, a good group of coaches. But when your coach, doesn't get rattled and phased that often, and he trusts you as a player and as a group, especially when you're as skilled as the Oilers are, you should be able to find success. And that's where I think it could work again this year. And we're seeing that in camp.
Tom Gazzola from the Oil Stream on Edmonton Sports Talk joining us this afternoon. We're live at Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common. Noah Philp spoke today, the former U of A Golden Bear. He took a year off hockey for personal reasons. He did have 37 points in 70 games with Bakersfield in 22-23, and most of those points were in the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. I know he's 26, but 6'3", about 200 pounds. I know we're not going to see him on the opening day roster, but he's a bit of a interesting prospect for me, and I do think he's a legitimate prospect for the Oilers. I don't think this is an older player. Let's throw him down in the minors because we need a warm body. But if you look at the possible role he could fill, I wonder how he's going to project to eventually perhaps wind up as an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah, key word there, Reid, eventually. And this is an intriguing story, a smart, thoughtful guy. Listening to him today and when he was, huddled up with the media scrum. And I ended up, when you had to head back to the studio, I asked Chris Knobloch about him and just the journey that Philp's been on and all of that and how he's kind of tracking. And the way he played 2 seasons ago in Bakersfield, especially late in the season, like you said, when he was starting to pile up points, gets a power play time, find his game at the AHL level, it was putting him on the radar to be a guy that would get consideration for a call-up. He had to step away from the game. It was something that he needed mentally, maybe physically, but and he was able to collect himself, take care of what he needed to take care of. He said he did some traveling. Obviously, listening to him, you get the sense he's a very thoughtful, mindful person and probably had to get his head in a good spot. And it sounds like he did that. So with that being said, there isn't a weight of expectation from the organization on him. It's up to him to just go and try to refine his game as a pro. His age, I don't think is something that everybody's going to be pointing and looking at and saying, well, he better hurry up. Otherwise he's going to become a non-prospect, because that's not the case. He went and played U of A after he was done in the WHL, had a cup of coffee with I think it was the Abbotsford Heat briefly, or the Stockton Heat, a couple of games there, then went to school, then got the shot with the Oilers, signing with the farm team. And he's a guy that if he progresses well and has a decent season down in the AHL, I've been told by people within the organization that expect him to be back on the radar for a call-up, and we could see him make his NHL debut. And, if we're sitting here today on September 20th going, well, where the hell is Noah Philp going to play this year? I would suggest to those people, his opportunity might come if there's injury, if some of those older guys are underperforming, if they're a bit nicked up, or if the Oilers are in a situation where they might need a couple of extra bodies around or a different type of player around, and they want to give him a look, we could see him later in the season. And it all depends on how he performs in the AHL, but I don't see why Colin Chalk and Keith McCambridge and the staff down with the Condors wouldn't put him into a lot of opportunities to continue to find his game and become a really good pro that gets a crack at the NHL.
You got one more for Tom, Jay?
Tommy, We had something come up at the office today, and I want.
Oh my goodness! I
want to have answers now, and I want to know. For those that don't know,
don't look at me like that, Awanik.
So something that we've coined as Chipgate has come into the ESD office, and Matty goes out and gets the supplies for the boys to take down to the Double E tailgate. Those would include, boxes of chips. He brought out the glasses and the bottles of water. And sometime between last night and this morning at the hangout, somebody decided to go into that box of chips and not only go into it and, hey, have a bag of chips or two, as it was exposed by one Matthew Awanik, who saw 2 used chip bags in the garbage can, but then to discover that it was actually done quite deviously in order to not, raise any concerns or eyebrows. The open box of chips, which was not broken open, but the seal was cracked, was put underneath and hidden. I just want to get your comments on Chipgate and how involved were you?
I believe we're looking at a bag of Lay's ketchup and Lay's Doritos.
2.
Right. I examined the photo.
Yep.
And I had no clue what you guys were talking about, in all sincerity. I don't think I would go for the ketchup chips. That's not my style. The Doritos, if I'm really in a bind for a snack, I would go to. But there was a plethora of snacks and food available today when I was in on the morning show that I avoided and respected the sanctity of the boxes of chips that Matthew busted his butt to go get for our dear friends at the tailgate that will stop by tomorrow, that I did not have anything to do with it. And I know that might be hard to believe considering what happened with the Ruffles teen burger the other day. I'll fully own that one. That's on me. I canvassed the crew who was there that I saw. I said, "You guys, did you have one? Is anyone eating that last one? I'll have it if nobody else is. If somebody else is, that's fine. I don't need it." The jerky gate was all on Joaquin, 100%, as much as he tries to put it on me. This chip thing was news to me when I saw it, and the photo evidence, that's not my handiwork because I'm not as sloppy as that.
And you're not willing to give up who is responsible for Chipgate?
I have no idea who ate those. I do know there is a guy around that station named Snack to Come, I would call him at times. But
okay.
I will not point the fingers at someone named Snack to Come. And I will also reiterate that Twitter Mary was super nice enough to come in and bring some delicious fresh baked pastries this morning on top of what Lucas brought in. So I had no interest in the chips.
Interesting that you changed the subject from Chipgate to Twitter Mary, Tom. We're going to have to take that into consideration as we dive more into Chipgate over the weekend.
Yeah, you do that. You guys put on your Dick Tracy trench coats and get to work on it, all right?
Tom, thanks for doing this. We'll see you at the preseason game. Well, I might see you at the football game tomorrow, but at the preseason game on Sunday as well.
Sounds good, boys. Thanks for having me.
That is Tom Gazzola from the Oil Stream, and we're taking you through the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel, understood. Evander Kane, by the way, if you didn't see it already, posted on his social media, successful surgery. Picture of himself in the old hospital gown lying in a bed. So that's, well, they said on Wednesday within a couple of days. So there we go. It does indeed happen today. Hamilton and Toronto are underway in the Canadian Football League. 3-3, 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. That big game between Saskatchewan and Calgary is at 7:30. I know we talked about this earlier in the week. I think I prefer Calgary to win for the Elks' chances.
You have to,
even though it would knock the Elks into last place for the time being with a game in hand. But yeah,
looking at the grand scheme,
you don't want to be 3 points behind Sask.
No, it's going to be an uphill battle, and then it's going to make that. If Saskatchewan can get it done tonight, that is going to put a lot more pressure on that game tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'll be taking that one in tonight. Bears playing Regina at Footfield tonight at 7. Okay, we'll get to some comments from the Oilers practice today, though the 2 practices for training camp, we will get to the duck update from Jay's household, the EST Farm Report.
Yeah.
We are live at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common, for the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Week 16 of the CFL is underway with over 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. The Tiger Cats lead the Argonauts, and later tonight the Stamps play against the Riders at 7:30. Tomorrow it's the Elks and Bombers down at Commonwealth. That game starts at 5. The Green and Gold Kickoff Show with Matthew Awanek and Jay Milne go live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge just an hour before the action. And if you're at the game, come catch me and Trev for the EST tailgate right beside the Tall Boy stage. And in the midst of the EST chipgate, we do have chips, and I did not take them. Right now, it's the Pirates up against the Reds. Reds up 4-0 at the bottom of the third. The Jays are against the Rays. That's tied at 0-0. And the only other game in the MLB right now with this score is the Mets and Phillies. 1-0 at the bottom of the first. This sports update has been brought to you by Wheeler's RV and Boat Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months, get 1 free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. And just after the break, Reid and Jay continue the Reid Wilkins Show live from Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common. I'm Zachary Kubish for your EST update.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Celebrate the grand opening of Sit and Sleep and discover a revolutionary way to shop for mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, you'll get free local delivery on any mattress over $5.99 and receive a bamboo cooling mattress protector. Get grand opening savings now with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Jay Milne, Reid Wilkins at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common, taking you into the weekend here. Yeah, Dylan Guenther, man, oh man, with now the Utah Hockey Club, the former Edmonton Oil King, an 8-year extension. So it actually kicks in next season. Good for Guenther, who was a really good Oil King. Actually was average outage value a little over $7 million. Actually was hurt when they were in the Memorial Cup, right?
Yeah.
Remember that, Awanak? He didn't play in the Memorial Cup, right? When they went. He was injured for that. Yeah. I remember. I was trying to involve Awanak so much for that. All right. 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. You can also participate in the nasty chat on YouTube as we take you through the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Just want to get to some of the comments from after practice. A couple of these we've referred to, but I asked goaltender Calvin Pickard if it felt like a different summer because he had, a contract and some certainty that he was going to be on an NHL roster.
I don't know if it was totally different. Obviously, we played late, almost the end of June, and we kind of had to act quickly to get a new contract, and that was exciting. It's I didn't want to be anywhere else. It's a great organization to be a part of, and but obviously I had to take a few weeks off there. We were skating pretty hard for a long time, so it was nice to get the pads off, and then once August hit, it was back to work and back on the ice, and it feels like the summer was really, really short, so it's nice to be back.
All right, a little bit there from Pickard, who also was asked if anything about his approach to the season might be changing.
You don't want to take a day for granted. Last year, it was a good lesson for me, coming up and, fighting for my life every single day. And nothing changes for me. I got a 2-year contract, great, but you got to always be playing well, and my mindset doesn't change. You always got to be proving yourself. So, I'm going into my 13th year pro, and I feel like every single day I got to set out to prove myself. So it's just the mindset I need to have.
Well, that's why he's still around, and why at 32 or 31 last year was able to have a pretty solid season.
Yeah.
I mean, the further down the roster you go, the less they take for granted. That's what I've learned.
32 years old, this is definitely the downside of your career, right? So, I mean, obviously everything means just that much more. I mean, I think that's something you go through in life, right? Professional hockey player, parent, whatever. Reid Wilkins, if you look back on your life and you're like, man, those are some good days, right?
Right.
But it's funny you can see correlations between professional athletes and little old us, right?
We are in the mobile James H. Brown studio, James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We were talking with Tom about Noah Philp, the former Golden Bear who, for personal issues, didn't play hockey last year, but he talked about that he's been skating for several months, did some traveling. Next year, I think sort of one of these situations where he's almost had to kind of refocus and get over some stuff or get through some stuff, which he did. And he's excited. He's excited to play. Here's what head coach Chris Knobloch said about Noah Philp.
There's a lot to like about him, and I didn't know the player at all. I heard before he took his time off that he was trending in the right direction, playing really well, and, possibility of playing the National Hockey League one day. And, seeing him at camp, there's an opportunity for him in the future. You can always use smart, dependable, two-way players. Just with the way our team is, if we can add some youth and younger legs and physicality, I think that's important for our team. And, I look at the size of him. He's got some size and he skates pretty well. And, I think he thinks very well. But, we haven't seen games. We've only been doing drills. But, for a guy that hasn't played very much hockey lately, I think he's off to a good start.
You never have too many Golden Bears on your team.
You can if you're sacrificing moving McDavid or Draisaitl off the team. You can have too many then.
Well, I don't think that's going to be happening, but it is interesting speaking about Golden Bears because is Noah Philp going to be in some ways, now it's not an exact correlation, but another version of Derek Ryan, who was a Golden Bear. Now, Derek went and played in Europe and had some incredible seasons there, but didn't debut in the NHL until he was with the Carolina Hurricanes at the age of 29. And is that the type of role, the Derek Ryan type role, and maybe a couple of years if Phil keeps playing well, that's who he becomes on the Oilers?
Yeah, maybe rattle off and put together some decent years down in Bakersfield. I mean, he's already at 26, but this is a 6'3" body. I mean, if there's a pulse, you're going to want to hang on and have a significant look at this, especially with Knobloch now involved in the organization, admitting that, he has not seen all that much other than tape, but you want to meet the player. You want to see how the player is reacting and engaging on the ice and in the locker room, and then you can establish, what direction that player is going to take. But yeah, I mean, it's funny how they're both former Bears.
Yep.
And now they're both transitioning into they're not spring chickens.
No, Philp's way bigger.
True.
Obviously.
That's almost something you can't ignore, right?
Yeah. It's not a
6'3" center.
I guess the comparison that I'm making is you could have guys debuting in the NHL in their late 20s. I don't know if Philp's going to get games this year. We'll see how he plays. But I think if you look a couple years down the road, I don't think it's on the bizarro zone that Noah Philp could be a fourth line center for the Edmonton Oilers.
No, big body. And I mean, that's just, the comparison to Derek Ryan and him stops there. Like Derek Ryan is a very slight man, but
Bears, late 20s.
Similarities, yeah.
But yeah, then some other things are a little
How was Derek Ryan's career overseas? Like, he
was exceptional. I believe he was the leading scorer of the MVP in Sweden, played in Austria as well. So
yeah,
he stayed got himself back on the radar of some NHL teams. Now, Bill Peters was coaching Carolina when he came over, and Bill Peters was his junior coach several years prior. But that's how it works, right? You need relationships and you need connections in order for something to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Doesn't hurt.
The power play, we were talking about that. I want to play this clip. So Knobloch was asked today about, the first power play and then the second unit, and how are you going to use these power plays?
Well, our first unit power play will still be our first unit power play. They've had tremendous success the last 5 years being the best power play. And for us to say that, okay, we're going to go with the second unit and give them more, and take that away from we got to be very careful about that. They are going to get the majority of the time. They are still going to get the starts, and but we do want our second unit to be a little more involved than they were last year, just because we do have some guys adding to our team that will give us a good second unit power play. But I think it's also important for them to have the power play to build their game, because it's been part of their game for such a long time. So Arvidsson, Skinner, those two that we've added, I think it's really important that that's a part of their game also.
I will believe that when I see it.
Yeah. It was funny. You're looking. Yeah. It's going to stay the same.
I would.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not going to change the first unit. That's like Belichick 6 years ago. Yeah. I think we'll ride with Brady.
Yeah.
I would think, and I know you just checked the line combos that Daily Faceoff does. That would be the second unit power play that I would guess. Arvidsson, Skinner, Henrique, Nurse, and Ekholm. I mean, last year you'd see McLeod and Kane and Perry on it, usually with Nurse. Fogle.
Fogle was a bright spot for sure. McLeod was tough to see at times.
Yeah.
On that unit, and it would that with Arvidsson, Henrique, and Skinner. I mean, that and it's all up in the air at this point, but you have legitimate scorers there.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
I mean, all guys who have scored 20 goals or more several times in the National Hockey League.
I mean, is Arvidsson the player that would be the net front presence in that group?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
Skinner would be the shooter, the Nuge on the second power play unit. Fair to say?
I think, I don't know. Well, because Nuge often plays left side half wall and can kind of move in. And McDavid's sort of all over that's the thing, though, with the power play, they move all around.
True.
I mean, sometimes McDavid might take a one-timer, not as often.
Be nice to see Ekholm shoot a little bit more in the second unit power play as a defenseman.
He's got a good shot.
A great shot. And it kind of came on as the season went on, right?
Well, when he can step in, he's scored a couple where he's come down the left side and just blitzed one over the goalie's glove.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll see it a little more often. I mean, I should say, if the first unit is is not getting the puck in, then sometimes the coach might say, just as a little bit of like, hey, snap to it, guys. I'm taking you off after a minute. Other than that, they're playing 90 seconds to a minute 40 or not coming off. Like, it's pretty hard to say, okay, I want to mix in a second power play unit, and then you're down 3-2 halfway through the third period. You're obviously starting the first unit. But fair point. Maybe we'll see a little bit more of a second unit because of the players that are on it, but I mean the first unit is so deadly.
But that's a for Oilers fans, that's a very positive approach, is looking at this second unit and clearly identifying that it is, at least on paper, better than the second unit from last year, right?
Yes, I would say
clear
that.
to say. Okay.
Oh yeah, well, because there weren't finishers like Arvidsson and Skinner on last year.
That's right.
I mean, Fogle did have a 20-goal season, so we should acknowledge that. But I mean, McLeod was off and on it. A banged up Evander Kane was off and on it. You know, Perry was on it, who, you know, still has the hands. Just trying to double check here. Oh, that's the wrong season. I want to double check the power play goals from last year. So power play goals last season. Well, that's just defensemen. Now we got to do the whole roster again. Sorry, everybody. Draisaitl had 21 power play goals, Hyman 15, Bouchard 8, McDavid 7, Nugent Hopkins 4, Perry 2, Kane 2, Ekholm 2, Nurse, Fogle, Holloway, all 1 each. So yeah, I mean 90% of the goals come, well, 85% of the goals came from the first unit. But yeah, Arvidsson and Skinner are something that they haven't had there for a while. All right, back for our final segment of the week, which means some Duck talk as well. What's her name again? Daisy?
Yes, sir.
Can't believe you didn't go with McLean.
I got video this time. You're going to want to stick around.
I haven't seen this. This is great.
You're going to want to stick around. You're going to want to turn your audio up, because the sound that a baby duck makes running down a hallway is a sight and sound to see and hear.
We are at Sit and Sleep on location at South Edmonton Common for the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
CFL Week 16 is well underway in the second quarter. It's tied 3-3 between the Tiger Cats and the Argonauts. 7:30 is kickoff between the Rough Riders and Stampeders. Well, the Blue Bombers face the Elks tomorrow. Jay Milne and Matthew Awanek have the Green and Gold kickoff show just an hour before the action at 4 o'clock. And if you're coming down to Commonwealth Stadium for the action, you can swing by the Edmonton Sports Talk tailgate to pick up some chips, sunglasses, and play some cornhole with me and YouTube Trev. Right now, the Jays are taking on the Rays, and it's tied 0-0 at the bottom of the third. The Mets lead the Phillies 2-1, while the Orioles are up 3-0 against the Tigers. Marlins are also leading 3-0 against the Braves. Just after the break, Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne enter the final segment of this Friday episode of the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your Edmonton Sports Talk update.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
All right, we're on Fit and Sleep here. Just had another nasty drop by, and Jay has a gift. Jay Milne has a gift.
Yeah, I just got this. It was a piece of memorabilia that he mentioned that he had, and it's a Washington hard hat. Doesn't really, the inner lining's out of it, so I got to.
You got to take it off.
I gotta.
Yeah. All right, it's a little uncomfortable for you, but
Yeah.
it is some old.
Yeah, it's some old memorabilia. That's my team. That's my squad. So there you go.
Who's going to the tailgate tomorrow in the Nasty Chat? I don't know. I might walk by. I don't go to the games too early, though.
No, I'd love to.
You guys are at the Century Casino.
Yeah, I'd love to, but the cheese and jalapeno smoky at Century Casino and Sports Lounge.
You guys are eating well there, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to going there for our watch party 1 week from today now.
It is,
right?
It is really good.
Yeah.
It is.
So
really
1
good.
week from today, we're on location again. Reid Wilkins show from 3 to 5 at Century Casino. Then you and Matt with the Green and Gold kickoff show at 5. Elks and Bombers at 6, and it's an EST watch party. So we can mingle and watch the game together and see how the Elks do on the road against the Bombers after they play the Bombers at home tomorrow.
Hey, Reid, I wanted to mention something that came up today. Fergie's prostate was in delivering. What was he delivering? He gave Maddie a hat. That's
Matt
right.
got a gift too.
Matt got a gift earlier from Fergie's prostate from the St. Albert Rugby Club. Really nice hat. But he had mentioned that there's a pretty big event going on, and you know, they won the SD for best EST function of the year was at the St. Albert Rugby Club. What was it? The event of the year was the Nasty Bash held at the St. Albert Rugby Club, where old Smash himself made an appearance.
I sure did.
Friedrich there. And so this weekend at the St. Albert Rugby Club, it's the senior men's and women's provincials. So it's actually tomorrow. So there's games at noon, 2, and 4. And actually at 1 p.m., there's an exhibition. The St. Albert U23 men's rugby team is taking on the Golden Bears rugby team. Fergie, of all tasks that he handles there, is going to be handling the traffic. He's the traffic marshal for the event. If you've ever wanted to have Fergie park your car, what better chance? And the big one he's going to be piping out is for the 4 o'clock game. He's going to be bringing on the teams with the old bagpipes for 4 o'clock. So if you are a rugby fan, if you want to go out and see some high-level rugby, senior rugby, St. Albert Rugby Club has got you covered tomorrow. And the SD, he picked it up. It will be on display permanently as a fixture at the St. Albert Rugby Club in their trophy case. He was very proud of that.
Incredible. Hamilton, touchdown, 10-3 lead on Toronto, 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Saskatchewan, Calgary at 7:30. That is a really big game in the West. I mean, if Calgary were to lose, they're in last place with just 4 games left and no tiebreaker against. I don't know if they'd have the tiebreaker against Sask or not. But for the Elks, it might be better if Calgary were to win. They would jump ahead of Edmonton, but Saskatchewan would also only be a point ahead. So then if the Elks were to win tomorrow, they would jump back ahead of those two teams with a game remaining against both. And they already have the tiebreaker against Calgary. All right, let's get the EST Farm Report, as we have an animal that's now become a character on the show, a big part of the show, your duck.
Daisy the duck is, it's been contributing a lot. So there you can see Daisy the duck went for a drive with my wife today to pick up the girls from school. That was the deal today, is they were going to get picked up from school, which is always a big event. So you can see Daisy. Now I'm not quite sure how with no arms Daisy is performing to steer, but by all accounts, my wife said she did a great job.
It's like Toonces the driving cat, Daisy the driving duck.
Daisy the driving duck, driving Miss Daisy. And I think I have some other pictures. Actually, Daisy the duck was watching the morning show this morning. There's the girls with Daisy the duck. They love Daisy the duck. Daisy the duck is taken over. There you go. Okay, Maddie got my hat. Yeah, there you go. See, it's a hard hat. It's a real deal. Daisy the duck has taken over the house. And Zach, if you can bring up that video. Okay, now we gotta turn the audio up here if we can. So play it again, but see if you can turn the audio up.
That's what the duck.
Listen, like, it's incredible, and that's all it does is run around the house constantly. It's amazing. That's a duck.
And how much longer will the duck live in the house?
I hope it has an accident soon. No, I'm just kidding.
A bad accident?
Actually, we discovered something yesterday. We can, because it's like in a tub, right, where it can eat, drink water. It has to go to the bathroom. You can do all that fun thing right in there, and then we just change it out.
Oh, okay.
It will be going outside. This is not an indoor duck by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, in the winter, you might want to live inside.
Well, we have a duck house. We have a beautiful duck house. It's nice and big and spacious and warm. There's a heat lamp in there. There's all food. There's all the straw they need. The problem is that right now it's a little bit of a liability for the little baby duck to head out there with the mallard. It could be problematic. Let's just say that.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Reid and Jay with you at Sit and Sleep, South Edmonton Common. If you come shop here over the weekend, they do have an EST discount. So just mention that when you come in. So the Elks tomorrow. What is this going to come down to? I know you've always said run the ball, pound it. Ford's going to play quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry has said that right after the last game, which was a win over Calgary. What is this really going to come down to in your mind?
If they can move the ball early in the game, if the Elks offense can move the ball early in the game, that is going to be the question. Trey Ford has not played for a while. That has been, when the team has been successful, they've had good early momentum. Last time before the bye week, I presented a stat that I saw that said basically they need to go into the half with a lead.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's most likely or probable that they're going to lose. So come out early, come out, very strong, and it'll be, you know what? I'm excited to see and watch and see what Trey Ford can do. Obviously, the twin connection with his brother Tyrell, that's cool, but it doesn't matter. He's a cornerback. He might have 2 or 3 balls thrown his way the whole game. It's not really a one-on-one battle. Like, I'm sure they're going to hype it up, but I guess he must, because it's very rare that twins would face off against each other.
Sure.
But I think if they can come out and move the ball. Now, without Javon Leake, we talked about it earlier. You're adding a guy like Trey Ford that can get around, and if they're going to continue to drop back the defensive backs and go into more of a nickel set, as they would call in football south of the border, I don't see that as being a viable option for them long term. Because if that's the case, they're going to run it down your throat with the 6th lineman and pound the ball and make you bring those cover guys up, get you in some man situations, one-on-one situations, cover 0 situations where Trey can exploit that. So Yeah, I'm interested. Somebody asked earlier about a touchdown. Who's going to score a touchdown? I just like what Trey Ford and Tevin Jones did in the past.
Oh, nice.
Tevin Jones has emerged as a top target for not only Trey Ford, but for Macbeth as well. So Tevin Jones, I don't even know what it is on coolbet.com, but Tevin Jones touchdown score. Maybe we'll have to add that to our parlay. Or did we, Maddie? No, we didn't.
I will take Rankin to get a touchdown.
I like that.
I know Brown is out there too, but Rankin sometimes gets in closer to the end zone as well.
Bigger body, bigger back that can maybe handle the load and, get in the end zone for you. I will find out if they didn't have any props like this up earlier, but maybe now that it's closer to the weekend, there is. No,
I want to see. I mean, I can't argue with you. I mean, this is. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I think it'll be a bit of a chess match. I think it'll be another good test for Jarius Jackson as a head coach, who's done a pretty good job, obviously, but he's going up against O'Shea and that staff. I just wonder if it's going to come down to if the Eskimos defense can actually knock Collaros. I haven't done that in a while. If the Elks defense can actually knock him off his game a little bit. He's such a great quarterback. He's such a figure-it-out type of guy. He's mobile as well. And Derek Taylor said a couple of days ago, they don't really confuse Zach Collaros. He's pretty much seen it all, but you could still, with any quarterback, try to fool him for at least a second or something, or show him something pre-snap that might disguise something a little bit. Because I think if the Elks come out and score, we have seen them score a lot of points, even against some decent defenses. And I know Winnipeg's very good, but they do have the weapons to score. This defense has improved. Certainly the secondary has improved. But if they can really come out there and stop Collaros and take his arm out of the game and his ability to scramble and find guys, if they can really limit that, I think that's a key for me. And then also something that'll make me even a bigger believer in what this team has done, recently. And then they go out and do it against him.
Well, and contrary to, or I guess opposite of running the ball for the Double E would be stopping the run of Brady Oliveira. So, it's going to be, I don't know, but you bring up the Mike O'Shea and the connections there. And it's just not that team this year. That is not a standard Mike O'Shea version of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm sorry. It's just not. And for that reason, I am confident that they can win this game. If they play their game, it should be a double-digit win. And I mean that
confident.
Yes. If they play their game and they run, the same things that have contributed to this, 5 out of 6 wins is run the ball, don't turn over the ball, and try not to stub your feet in your foot in the special teams category.
Well, and that's the other thing. Special teams or otherwise, they have not been the team making the egregious error or as many egregious errors.
Whereas in the first 7 games,
they were like, how are we going to give it away?
How are we going to find ways to lose this game?
Yes.
Now this is a different team that is finding ways to find ways to win the game. So, and yeah, just a reminder, it's been great being here at Sit and Sleep. Thanks to Sonny and his staff. This has been great. Thanks to Maddie for being the model on the sectional there. We appreciate it. Boy, power headrest.
He's playing with power headrest.
Oh yeah, that's got it all.
We're not going to be able to get him out of here.
Yeah, he's not leaping. Sonny, I think he might sleep here. Yeah, that would be good for the branding. Sure, we'll get some pictures of you drooling on the couches. But reminder, come on down this weekend. They're open all weekend. Mention EST. Mention you saw the show on EST, and amongst their grand opening sales that are already going on, Sonny said they're going to kick in free GST and free white glove delivery service in Edmonton. So if you are looking, and I know there's been nasties in the chat that have been saying, hey, we need a new couch. We need something our cat is not going to scratch. Come down here. You will find it here this weekend. And you don't have to wait. You can get customized options in your house very fast. So we appreciate being here. You will see us here again. And Riedrich,
goof ups.
Goof
Well, I
up.
just made one because I called the team by its old. I called the current team by its old team name, which I will use sometimes if I'm talking about the team before the name change. But I just called them that for this weekend, which is not accurate.
That's right.
That was my goof up. I did it right at the end of the show so I could remember it. You didn't make one. You were solid.
I wouldn't say I was perfect. I think I was hoping to wrongly accuse Tommy of being involved with Chipgate. I think I might have laid it on him a little heavy there, but I don't think he's the target, Matt. I know you do, and I think you're right. I think everybody knows who it is, but we'll have to just Maddie, you're going to go away next week. Have a great time off. Have a great. Maddie deserves a break.
Is he off work?
Believe it or not,
he's our sail in the night.
He's the coup.
He's our lighthouse in the night.
Yes, I don't know what we're gonna do,
but he's working tomorrow and he's working He's working Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's only gone for a few days. So tomorrow, 4:00, Century Casino, Green and Gold kickoff show with Awanak and Milne, and then they'll be with you after the game for the Green and Gold post-game show as the Elks try to keep rolling as they take on the Blue Bombers. Thanks to Sonny and everybody at Sit and Sleep for having us here today. Thanks to you for listening. Thanks to Zach back at Edmonton Sports Talk. On behalf of Jay, I'm Reid. Have a great weekend.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.